Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the 11th and final round of the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Motocross Championship here in MX Simulator. My name is Kellen Brower, and I am beyond excited to bring you guys the action from the Ironman MX Simulator National tonight. Like I said, the 11th round and final round of this championship. What a season it has been. Both the 450 and 250 class championships are still alive, and really both of them are maybe as up in the air as we've ever seen for both classes. Coming into tonight, Payson Johnson looking to defend his title, go 2 for 2 in the last 2 seasons of Pro Motocross, and keep that #1 plate on, but he does not have the 450 points lead. That goes to Alexis Leclerc at the moment, who is 5 points up on him. Leclerc looking for his 5th ever Pro Motocross title in this game. He has won more outdoor titles in this game than anybody, and he is trying to extend that record and make it a 5th title here tonight. In the 250 class, Cade Matherly rolls in as our championship leader. 2 motos left to go as well in that 250 division. He is 14 points up on our 250 East Supercross champion, Seth Shirley, as he looks to get it done and take down Cade Matherly in that 250 class. So we have got a barn burner of a race here tonight at Ironman. It is going to be so much fun to watch. Cannot wait to get it started. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about the qualifying times and what we have to look forward to rolling into tonight's action. And as we look at those, I want to give you a big caveat, a big thing to point out here. You're going to see Payson Johnson ran a 140.929. Trevor Burns a 141.4. Rasmus Balzer a 142 flat. I have been told from a few people that this is actually a lap time that these guys did a little bit of, it's not cheating, but it's just something, I would say, to make that lap time much better than what we'll see in the race. And that is that they entered from off the track at the finish line jump. If you know the Ironman Raceway track, there's a long, run up alongside of the track next to the finish line, and you can jump from that finish line all the way over a wall jump that's like 200 feet down the hill. And it shaves off a lot of time. Apparently, there's also a 5 jump in the back straightaway that some of those guys are getting as well, which might be a race line, but I think that one over the finish line definitely saves a lot of time. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Johnson, with that line, does go fastest here tonight at a 140.9. Burns Balzer right there as well. Braden Carter, the Supercross champ, 4th fastest with Colby Eaglin in 5th. And then the man that they are hunting and trying to dethrone going into this finale, Alexis Leclerc, our championship leader, a 145.921. So that 145 range seems to be more of where we expect these guys to be. We'll see if they can dip down below that at any point during tonight's motos. Do we have a consi tonight? We might. We got 46 guys that ran laps. I don't know if they'll back row that deep, but we'll see. 250 class, though, boy, it is tight. And we saw this last week at Budds Creek. Seth Shirley and Cade Matherly 1-2 in qualifying. Shirley goes a 146.3, Matherly a 147.6. Tharp, Doyle, Cash Woods inside of the top 5 there. So really what you need for Shirley here is to get yourself out front, win the moto, and put people between yourself and Cade Matherly. You need to gain on average 7 points per moto, which is going to be tough to do. You need Matherly to finish 4th or worse in both motos, with him winning both to have a shot at this title, but it could be done, and there are a lot of guys on this list that definitely could play spoiler. The 250 class looks like we also might get a consi. 50 people ran laps, so we'll see if that consi race happens or not. We'll quickly take a look at our standings, and should point out that theoretically speaking, Tyler Lang is still mathematically alive in this 450 class. He is only 45 back. There are 50 points on offer here tonight, but we assume that Leclerc and Johnson will be taking this thing nose to nose all the way to the checkered flag against each other, and we'll see who gets it done between the two of them. 5 points in it. Going to be fun to watch. That 250 class, though, it is just Matherly and Shirley still mathematically alive. They got 100 points on everybody else. Braden Tharp down there in the 3 spot, but again, 14 points between them, and it's anybody's guess who's going to walk out of here as the champions tonight. So that's your storyline rolling into the finale here at Ironman. Let's jump in the server and get ready to go racing. See if we got ourselves a consolation race or not. And get started here at Ironman. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be fun. I've covered MX Simulator for 13 years now. 12 years, I guess, or 13. I don't know. I've covered it a long time. And to see both titles come down to the wire like this, and potentially them both switch tonight, depending on how things go, is going to be something that will live in infamy in this game. So excited to see if that happens and what exactly happens with that. It looks like we do have a consolation race loaded on the gate, and they're waiting for one rider to load, or did I time out? No, I think we're waiting for that 137 machine. That is Ryan Swanson to load. But I'll wait and see just a minute and see. Yeah, so Consi for both got the notification there in the chat room. So I'll pull up our graphics here so that we can know what's about to go to the gate. And man, kind of wanted to roll right into the motos and see how these championships shook down, but unfortunately, it looks like we do have some consies. Well, fortunately, I should say. We made it all the way to the final round, and we have enough riders to fill the gates in both classes, so that's good to see. Definitely been a part of the series before, where we didn't make it all the way to the end with full gates. It's always nice to see this. And I'm trying to see, did this consolation race already start, or is this just a sight lap for them? It is Jack Gatlin, Rogan McIntosh, Trent Adams, Brent Heinzelman, Evan Cormack, Nick Casella, Joey Bradstreet, Tyler Blowers, Ryan Swanson, Will Canal, Tyler Shields, Brandon Walther, Harrison Gafford, and hey, Logan Leitzel's here tonight as well, the defending champ, who will see his number 1 plate be relinquished here this evening. So we are, let's see, yep, getting ready to go for the 250 Motocross Consi. And these guys, again, will be going 4 laps with the top 4 riders transferring through to the motos. So about 7 riders. Actually, there's 14 guys on the gate, so I should say 10 riders will leave here unhappy. We're about to see who they are. Who shall we watch off the gate? Tyler Shields got a good inside line down there, and we'll see what it looks like going to the first corner. These guys got to go over a rut coming onto the start straight to get into that first turn. But here we go. 250 Consi's off and running. Consolation race is underway at Ironman, and we picked the right guy to watch. Tyler Shields leads him into the first corner. Is he going to lead him out? He is side by side there into the second corner. Trent Adams and Shields get together. Logan Leitzel will take over the race lead. So 4 laps for these guys to determine who goes through into the motos. Leitzel, Blowers, Gafford, and Swanson in our top 4 positions early on as we head up to the Godzilla jump. Massive blow-up dinosaur placed at the base of this jump. Huge uphill to a big tabletop at the top of it. If you've ever been to the Ironman Raceway in real life, you know how steep and daunting that hill is. A couple years back, I climbed up that hill at the end of the day. Myself and Tom Jurnett, Mitch Kendra at RaceRex. And Tommy Tenders grabbed a golf driver, and a tee, and slammed a few golf balls off the top of Godzilla. Still have some footage of it. Pretty good times. Leitzel under attack is going to lose the lead from Tyler Blowers. So Blowers takes over at the front. Leitzel in second. Gafford still there in the 3 spot with Swanson rounding out our top 4 still. Shields picked it up from that crash. He's got Jack Gatlin right behind him. Evan Cormack just went by. They all funnel under the bridge jump. Someone launching off the track. Will Canal. I don't know where he thought he was going. Tyler Shields is also down this back straightaway. Interesting tactic. I don't know if he was trying to launch all the way out to that single or not, but did not work out, so he'll lose a lot of time. It's not so much the positions, it's the time lost, because you need to be right on the tail feathers of that 4th and final transfer spot if you hope to make it in. Leitzel leading him through at the end of the first lap, down past the mechanics area. He'll hop and skip into that first turn, swing all the way through the first corner, and bring us back into view through the Studio 8 hole shot line. Harrison Gafford there in second, Tyler Blowers third, and Ryan Swanson is still in 4th. So this battle for second seems to be the best on track. Gafford and Blowers. They'll work their way to the bottom of the circuit here, and Blowers going to pull up alongside, make that pass on Gafford. Gafford did not get the double out into the rollers, but Blowers kind of double whipping, lands the opposite direction right there. Gafford actually scrubbing nicely off the top of that hill, and Swanson still sticking close behind them as Leitzel now opens about a 5-second advantage up ahead of them. You're watching 2, 3, 4 on the racetrack right here. The 137 there in the background of Ryan Swanson is in our 4th and final transfer spot. This is the 250 Constellation Race, round 11 of the RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. Essentially works as a last chance qualifier. Everybody that makes it through in the top 4 positions of this joins the 36 riders that had to qualify their way straight in on time into the motos that will be ran shortly. And if you're just joining us and missed out at the beginning, we are in for a barn burner here tonight at Ironman. 2 championships yet to be locked up. 5 points in it in the 450 class, 14 points in it in the 250 class, and we are excited to call that racing here shortly. Blowers lost that front end. Jack Gatlin will go by into the final transfer spot. He brought with him Joey Bradstreet and Brandon Walther. It is Gatlin who makes it through on the 57. Bit of a surprise to see him in this consolation race. I don't know if he maybe just didn't get time to run a time. These guys get about just over a day usually of qualifying. The track is usually released on Tuesday afternoon in the U.S., Tuesday late evening in Europe, and basically Wednesday morning, I guess you'd say, in Australia. And Gatlin, I should say, out of the UK, would have seen that track released early in Wednesday morning. It's now Thursday morning for him as Swanson goes down. As Bradstreet jumps by, so resetting things. Leitzel, Gafford, Gatland, and Joey Bradstreet all in the mix. Shout out to Lenko, or L4NKO, for this sub. It gets too annoying, I'll be sure to turn alerts off, but I like to leave them on and give some shout outs to the people that super chat and donate and all those kind things that you guys do, as well as sub. Why not? And Bradstreet's got Brandon Walther right behind him. They are still chasing Gatlin, but this is a nice little battle behind them for the 5th spot. Bradstreet missed this big table in the center, and Walther is going to go by. The inside, Bradstreet trying to get back by. This is actually our transfer spot battle. What happened? Oh, Blowers has fallen out of the mix. He is behind all these guys as we work into the back straightaways. So up to Walther again. He is actually in the 4th and final transfer spot. Gatlin has moved to 3rd. So now Walther and Bradstreet here on the 270 fighting it out for our 4th and final transfer position. A little mistake there for Bradstreet, so Walther gets a little bit of breathing room. On the flip side, here comes Rogan McIntosh, and with him, he is bringing Ryan Swanson and Blowers. The white flag is in the air. This is your battle on screen right here for 5th as they throw dualies, scrub dualies off the single. McIntosh thought about going to the inside, cuts back to the outside, trying to square the corner off double apex U-turn. His first turn complex here at Ironman Raceway. Inside line, McIntosh will cross over, get the pass done on Joey Bradstreet. Next up ahead of him, Brandon Walther in that final transfer spot. Let's see if McIntosh can get up there. Bounce their way through those rollers and then up this long uphill. Walther rips a nice scrub off. Inside line for McIntosh, going to pull alongside. Who's got the better line coming down the hill? McIntosh gets the power down. Walther trying to get to this inside, will not do it. McIntosh into the final transfer spot with 2 straight up passes around Bradstreet and then Walther. Walther not done though. A Dynaco Honda ride, the 688 machine is keeping it close. Oh, and he's down hard. Whoa, what a weird spot to crash. Must have swapped. And he is off the side of the track. Tyler Blowers now down on the rear tire of Bradstreet, and they both go down, leaving a huge gap for McIntosh in 4th all by himself as we peek back up to our race leader. Final 2 corners for the Yogi Designs. The defending champ here, Logan Leitzel, going to go through to the main motos. Logan Leitzel wins the consolation race at Ironman. Harrison Gafford riding the rear tire through the rollers is also on his way. He is stamping a ticket into the motos. Jack Gatlin will join him, as will Rogan McIntosh. Those are your 4 riders transferring through to the main motos here at Ironman. Joey Bradstreet going to miss out, as will Tyler Blowers, Evan Cormack, Ryan Swanson, Will Canal, Brent Heinzelman out of this race. Brandon Walther disconnected there. Nick Casella, Tyler Shields, myself and warm-up all missing out on this 250 class moto here today. As Leitzel takes the dub in this, and we'll wait to see if the penalties affect anything. Most likely will not. And then I think we are to have a 450 consolation race as well. There we are. Nope. Penalties aside, everything stayed the same. In fact, our top four had no penalties to speak of whatsoever. So good, clean riding for our top four riders. McIntosh, Gatlin, Gafford, and Leitzel go through to the motos here tonight at Ironman. So 250 consolation race now complete. Up next will be our 450 consolation race. And same deal here. 4 laps, top 4 riders transfer through. Everybody else heads home a little bit early. But this one only had 46 qualifiers in the 450 class. So this consolation race at most would only have 10 riders in it. So 6 guys will go home unhappy. Looks like 11 guys actually made it in. Jonathan Hernandez is one of them. Zach Fisher here. Also another JGMX. Also looks to be lining up. Gustavo Navega. Eduardo Simos. Magnus Hastrup. Jack Fowler. Carl Novak. Ethan Olson. Reno Brennan. And Alex Heckman make up the 11 riders going for 4 positions in this 450 consolation race. And here we go, folks. Final consolation race of the year. We will not see another one of these because there is no more races left to be run after this. So the last time we can get excited about some potential last lap punts as these guys try to make it into the motos. But 11 guys are set to go. 4 make it through. 450 Consi is off and running here at Ironman. Gate down. Heckman with a good start. Going to try to swoop in and grab that hole shot. He'll get there. So it is Heckman on the 292 machine to get the hole shot in this one. Ethan Olson in second. Going to get past right away. Eduardo Simos down the inside. Looks like we had the rider back in the 4th position go down. That was Carl Novak by the looks of it on the Verb Moto machine. It's Heckman, Simos, Olson, and Jack Fowler in these early top 4 positions. And Simos looks like he already wants a piece of the race lead. 292 versus the 194. Couple of pseudo OGs in this game a little bit. Heckman's been around for quite a while. Simos has been around for a long time. Still out here grinding, getting after it in RaceFactory Gaming National competition. Simos looking inside and will get alongside Heckman. Let's see what we got. Doolies. Simos throws massive as Heckman cases the tabletop in the middle here. Kind of funnel in behind Simos, but Simos our new leader. Heckman second. Olsen third, and Gustavo Navega was caught up on the inside there. Jack Fowler up alongside of him, but JGMX made it by. So the 227 machine. Oh, Navega down hard off the top right there. I don't know where he was off to, but he landed really deep on that triple. And loses only 2 positions. Zach Fisher, Jonathan Hernandez not able to get there. Hernandez almost perfectly rode out of that. That was unbelievable. But JGMX went down. No, excuse me. Reno Brennan is in the final transfer spot. Who went down? What is happening here? What am I missing? We got Heckman, Olson, JGMX, Brennan, Fowler. Oh, Simos. Sorry, Simos was the leader. He is now 6th. So Simos, a.k.a. Doodoo MX, TDMX 194, now back into the 6th spot. Fowler moves up to 5th, and they're all chasing this man right here, Reno Brennan, the Wildside Designs number 41 ride. Heckman out front to the tune of 2.5 seconds over Ethan Olsen. Then JGMX and Reno Brennan, the little battle we're seeing on our screen right here, just up the road from Jack Fowler. Woo, Brennan tossing a little Oppo whip at the top of the hill. Reno Brennan won the, I think it's called the MXS Games Best Trick Competition last year. I don't think they did that again. That was put on by Insane FMX, aka Dominic Saulnier, last year. Cool little event. And Brennan did what at the time we called the Reno roll. It was this wild trick on a half pipe where he kind of like corked out an Oppo whip that turned into a barrel roll and then sort of a flare that landed perfectly on the wheels. Really interesting trick. Not much you can do in the way of tricks in this game, just a lot of flips and stuff like that, but Brennan did something that I certainly have never seen anybody do and walked away with the gold medal in that competition. Certainly no slouch on the racetrack though, as he is on his horse after JGMX for this 3 spot. They still got Olsen just ahead of them. No, it looks like they're all teammates, but they're actually just riders that I do not have gear or bikes for. So it defaults to the default pack that I have in this game, which is this August Sanders, I think it is the August Sanders answer gear and all the default models and the Husqvarna that everyone's using. So it's really the BFC ride of Olsen, the Wildside Designs ride of JGMX. And I guess Reno Brennan is the teammate of JGMX of Wildside Designs. That's 2, 3, 4 on your screen. They are still just behind our race leader, Alex Heckman, who's kind of been inching away a little bit at the front as this group tails in behind them. Simos has really fallen off the track here. He can not even see the riders up ahead of him. Looks like he's about 12, 13 seconds back of that. Let's see, 5 flat to 18 flat. Yeah, about 13 seconds back for Simos. So he's going to need some crashing. Oh, we got a pass though. JGMX has lost the position as Brennan backflips off the top of the Godzilla jump hill up there. Told you Brennan's got that little freestyle blood in him. And he moves up into the 3 spot now. Will he do something here on the table in the middle? He must know we're watching if he's pulling tricks out. Yeah, he's flipping, popping backflips in the middle of the consolation race. For a lot of these guys, we're so deep into the season. This is the 28th race between Supercross and Motocross this year for MX Simulator competition. And if you're in the consolation race, it's not as much as situation is really that you're fighting for something, I guess. Just out there to have fun. Maybe score some points at the last few rounds. Or if you're Reno Brennan, go to the consi and throw backflips. That was always Matt Burkeen's thing. It didn't matter what race he was in, he would front flip a lot. And Brennan out here just tossing some backflips. Why not? Oh, Heckman has tossed the lead away. Ethan Olsen goes to the front. Heckman is still right there as this 4-rider train kind of hangs together. White flag is in the air. So Olsen from Brennan. Heckman lost another position. He'll settle into 3rd. And then just behind him is still JGMX. They are 12 seconds ahead now of Simos. Simos is closing the gap down, but he will need a crash out of one of these 4 riders. And as they are all very close together, the possibility of them going down and getting together is obviously heightened in this scenario. We got a bunch of guys together here. And yes, I am talking about Matt Burkeen, the 252-stroke god. He is, as some people know, the 2016 250 national champion in this game. And for a long time ran the number 8. I think he won a 450 main event or 2 in 2017 or 2018. Really, really talented. I think he finished 4th or 5th in Supercross in 2018 as well. Olsen still dealing with that pressure. Reno Brennan wants to try to win this consi. Oh, man, he almost went over the front right there. He's off the track. He's now alongside, so he kind of made a pass off the track. We'll have to see if that holds up or not. But Brennan takes over the lead on the final lap from Ethan Olsen. They're going to go into the final couple of corners. Can Olsen steal this one back away? Simmons looks like he went down in the 5 spot, so our front 4 should be safe. It's a drag race to the line, and Brennan gets it by a 10th. Ethan Olsen 2nd, JGMX 3rd, and Alex Heckman will complete the list of riders headed through as he is in the 450 class motos here tonight at Ironman. Eduardo Simos is out. Gustavo Navega also out. Carl Novak, Zach Fisher, Jonathan Hernandez, Jack Fowler, Magnus Hastrup, all missing out as well. We'll wait for those penalties to come in. As Reno Brennan hangs out over here. See if he'll give us a couple more fun things. And as he does that, I'm going to jump back in the studio as we get ready to go racing here, because we are about set to drop the gate on 250 Moto number 1, and championships are in play in that class. Remember, 14 points between our championship leader, Cade Matherly, and second place, Seth Shirley. So we'll see how things unfold as we wrap up the consolation race here. Yes, Thomas, I will be at Ironman this weekend. All right, penalties are in. Brennan goes from the win to 3rd. 5.6 seconds of cuts. Brutal. So Ethan Olsen gets the win. JGMX 2nd, Brennan 3rd, and Heckman rounds out our top 4 positions. So here we go, folks. This is what you all tuned in for here tonight, I assume. I know a lot of you guys are friends with Cade Matherly and Seth Shirley. Well, they are set to decide a championship tonight. Cade Matherly on 416 points, where Seth Shirley is on 402. I forgot to do the math on tiebreakers rolling into tonight, but I'll try to get that pulled up at some point and see how it squares out with the tiebreaker situation. But yeah, this is about to be a lot of fun. You guys have tuned in for a good one, trying to read chat, see what's going up. Yo, that's sick. Yeah, definitely, Thomas. I will be there at press day. Got to be there for the combine. I'll be running around filming the combine and press day action. There's also going to be a press conference. But otherwise, I should be kind of hanging out. We usually do the first look show, which is on RacerX, and that is sometimes in the crowd, sometimes just near the track. So just keep an eye on it. Yeah, look at Jaden right there. Hashtag Team Twizzy. McNuggets here for Cade. Frenzy XR. Cade about to dust everyone. Calling it now. Big guy Barb going Cade for the dub tonight. And Bradley let me know that ties go to Cade. So Cade has the tiebreakers right now. And that stays true even if Shirley goes 1-1 here tonight, right? Because I think tiebreaker are overalls, but I don't remember how many that Matherly versus Shirley has this year. And Jack Fowler checking in. Well, Reno Bandino, also known as Reno Brennan, says, thanks for catching my flips and whips. You know it. I got you. Jack Fowler says, Simos landed on him in 5th and crashed his game. Oh, season ends on a rough note right there. No question about it. Wow, 10 years. Crushing it. Jack Fowler, way to go. Kellen is like a Sam Squanch at the races. I couldn't find him at Hangtown. I try to walk around. It's tough sometimes because we have so much to do during the day that I end up getting stuck either at team trucks or in a tower watching the race or something like that. But I do try to walk around, especially like during practice and qualifying. I'll usually go film. So if you see me walking along the track, don't ever hesitate as well to just like yell my name and get my attention. Because while I do like filming practice and qualifying, it's not actually my job. It's Tom's job. But Tom will not be there Friday, so I got to film press day stuff. But Tom will be there Saturday, so he'll get it. All right. So McNuggets going pacing for the W tonight. Frenzy XR wants to know who I got in 250s. I am an unbiased person here. I want to see both of them have a good battle. What I really want is in 2018, Alexis Leclerc and Adam Holm went into the final corner at the bottom right-hand corner of this screen. Went into the final corner, and Leclerc took home out for the championship. If we got something anywhere near that again tonight in either class, I'd be blown away, stoked, and would love to call that. So if we get something like that, it would be a lot of fun. We'll see. Do your whole shot picks right now. Good question, or a good point. I need to see who's going to the gate, though. I don't want to just pick Matherly or Shirley because of the championship guys. Let's see. So even if Seth goes 1-1, Cade has a tiebreaker if it's based on overalls. So, okay, cool. Cade has more moto wins anyway. So Cade has the tiebreakers across the board. Zimmerman, Stevenson, Sund, Vanderkoy, Chousey, Seabolt. Oh, Seabolt's back in the 250 class tonight. He might be a good pick for a whole shot. Bodie Parker, Alex Doyle, Rogan McIntosh, Nick Niles, Jack Gatlin, Sonny Spicer, Tyler Nichols, Stevenson, McPherson, Zimmerman, Brune, Shirley, Woods, Sund, Holt, Tharp, Nerona. We got Pardolo, Cepeda, Rico, Schaefer, Gers, Spink, Gafford, Horn, Cobble, Nygren, Zollers, Kelly, Powers, Cavaciuti, J.R. Reyes. There is Cade Matherly, Jake Kazarian, Caden Speck, Jace Williams, all going to the line. I think I am going to be cliche. I think I'm going to pick Seth Shirley because I know how much this might mean to him here tonight. So we are set, folks. We are ready to go. 14 points in it, as I mentioned. Ho, 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 folks. Get ready. This is about to be good. Just about set to go. Loaded in. Get the riders on the gate. We are revved up. The board is sideways. Who's going to get the Studio 8 whole shot? We're off and running. 250 Moto 1 as Stevenson gets sideways. We got a KTM coming out of the middle as everyone funnels into the first corner. It's Shirley up alongside. I'm trying to get into the race lead as everyone goes through the line. Trying to see who that was to grab the whole shot. Alex Doyle of the DL, number 138. Gets out front. He is leading this thing. He got the Studio 8 whole shot. Shirley tucked up the inside, went off the track. He goes around the tunnel, rejoins in 4th. Where's those red plates? Matherly looks like he's in about 10th as Doyle leads from Holt. On the 85, he's got a good start. McPherson pushes Shirley out up at the top of the hill. We're all dropping back down. 4 or 5 bikes all in the air at the same time. Shirley down the inside of McPherson gets back into 3rd place. And McPherson goes down, hangs up a few guys. So this is good news for Shirley because Matherly's tucked down in about, let's see where he actually is, 8th or 9th spot, 9th position for Matherly as Shirley is in 3rd place early on. Alex Doyle is still leading this race. And he's got Evan Holt closing up behind him. Go down this back straightaway for the first time. Holt is going to start feeling that pressure from Seth Shirley. You know Seth Shirley wants to get in the lead and try to take off as fast as he possibly can. Logan Leitzel is up into the 4th spot just behind him. So the defending champ, after winning the consolation race, is on a roll heading into the motos here. He is off to a great start right now. And it looks like Matherly may have already snuck up into about 7th position as I'm trying to keep an eye on what's going on in the background. At the end of lap number 1, it is Alex Doyle, the 138 ride, leading lap 1. Evan Holt 2nd, Seth Shirley 3rd, Leitzel 4th, Caden Speck inside the top 5. Bodie Parker now 6th with Cade Matherly 7th. Marley Spink in 8th alongside Hayden Stevenson in 9th. And Braden Tharp rounds out our top 10. Stevenson down on the wall jump, going to lose several positions. Always a detriment to go down on the opening laps. Here is our championship leader. Found his way up into 7th. And really, with the championship cushion that he has, he just has to be really methodical, not crash, make the passes when they come through. And like I said, so long as he goes 3-3 today, just has a consistent day by Matherly's standards, he walks out of here with this 2023 250 class championship. And actually, because of the tiebreaker, if he goes 4-4, I should say, he would walk out of here with the championship. So 3-4, 4-3, 4-2. Any of those numbers will get it done. Around the outside he goes there. Bodie Parker turns to the inside here, and he will move up into 6th spot. It's like he is doing exactly that when it comes to the methodical situation. New leader, Evan Holt down the inside, gets around Doyle. And Shirley is all up on his rear fender as well, trying to make the pass into 2nd place. Doyle hanging tight with him, though. Oh, Doyle down. Oh, and Shirley just narrowly avoids getting into him. I don't know how he didn't get caught up right there, but Doyle is down. He is going to fall outside the top 5, so Matherly should move up into 5th place as we continue to watch what will soon be a battle for the lead. Evan Holt, District Designs number 85, really has broken out these last few rounds. He was always around a top 10 guy, but last week at Budds Creek, man, he ran up front, was 2nd place for a really long time. Now leads at Ironman and is battling with Seth Shirley here on lap number 3. Got a little update in chat from iBradley saying that the server is lagging, according to the server owner, Jacob Hubbard. So they're trying to sort through some issues as Shirley has the front end tuck over that inside rut. Loses some time, but fortunately for his sake, does not go down. So Holt opens up a small advantage. There's Leitzel. There is Speck. And here is Cade Matherly. He is now 5th, but Tharp is going to get by him. The Covenant 20 machine goes around Cade Matherly. Matherly fights back, doubling into the rollers, and will get back into 5th place. But this is something that Matherly certainly would not have expected, is to feel the pressure and get passed from behind like that with Braden Tharp, who has been one of the fastest riders all season. Oh, man, so now there's even a possibility that if the lag gets too much, they would even maybe red flag it. Not seeing it really come through on my side yet, as we see Tharp up the inside on Matherly again. But if you are in warm-up mode, which I am in a server, thanks to kind of a little bit of time delay that the server does to be able to load people into proper positioning, I usually don't tend to see if the server is lagging. But you can see that guys are going through timing gates and cameras are taking a really long time to switch over, so that is also a telltale sign. We would already switched onto that camera right there for Tharp going under the bridge, but it took a little bit of while. Yeah, it looks like the camera is about 3 seconds delayed right now. So we'll see how this plays out, but right now Tharp has gotten back around Matherly, and Seth Shirley has just taken over the race lead. He is around Holt and up front. Man, oh man, can you talk about the controversy this past weekend at Budds Creek? Hayden Deegan leading. The red flag waves. They do a full restart with less time on the moto, and he goes down in the first corner. Can you imagine if they red flagged this thing with Seth Shirley leading and chipping away some crucial points away from Cade Matherly? Hopefully the server lag gets it sorted and we can continue on with this race. There it is, Shirley up the Godzilla jump in the race lead as Holt has slipped back into the 2 spot. Leitzel is hanging tight with him in 3rd, and now Tharp up alongside Speck trying to get into 4th. Down the inside, gets around Caden Speck. Speck slides out. Matherly hung up, came to a complete stop. And not only will that cost him a lot of time, it might cost him a position. Here comes Bodie Parker on the 32 back into the fray. So now Matherly's suddenly in a really precarious position here as he runs in the 6th position. At the moment, he is losing 10 points in this one moto to our race leader, Seth Shirley. The 6th place is 15 points and a win is 25. So it'd go from 14 down to 4 if it stays like it is, but Tharp is down off the track. He will pick it up in 7th now behind Parker. Let's see if he loses another position. 138 of Doyle goes over top and will get by him as well. And that helps out Cade Matherly. Gains a point as well as a position back into the top 5. So Matherly on the rear tire through the rollers, wants to get away from that battle ensuing behind him and get up and around Caden Speck as quick as he possibly could. He gets stuck behind Speck a little bit. It might allow some of those other guys like Tharp back into the fray. Oh, that's Leitzel. Looks like he maybe just picked it up from a crash because he is now behind Holt by a long distance. Shirley has got a huge lead suddenly, so Holt and Leitzel both having some mistakes. That's going to obviously help Cade Matherly because some positions that he could really use are now right in front of him. And he's going to pull up alongside Speck going up Godzilla. Is this a pass for 4th place? It is. Matherly now into the 4th position. And at this stage of it, only losing those 7 points. Go from 14 down to 7 if it stays like it is. Another update from Bradley in chat saying the server script broke. So they're working on that right now, but at least for the time being, it seems like the on-track stuff is fixed. Doolies! Caden Speck tossing it alongside Braden Tharp. Just having at it as Logan Leitzel lays it down. Our leader is also down. I just saw Seth Shirley laying upside down out of the tunnel, and he's going to lose the lead. Here comes Holt. Holt jumping over top of him, pulls up alongside. Oh, they scrub almost across each other. Down this back straightaway, Shirley to the inside. Will maintain the race lead, but has lost a lot of time in the process. And with it, Cade Matherly getting around Speck and Leitzel going down has also snuck up into 3rd place. And Holtze just went down in the 2 spot as well. So Matherly going to go all the way into 2nd now. Only losing the 3 points as it runs. Would go from 14 down to 11. And just for reference point, anybody that's watching, I did include the championship standings at the bottom of the screen. So if you pay attention to the bottom bar, it shows you the points situation coming into the moto. I will update it after this moto has been completed. But you'll see the 450 championship standings and the 250 championship standings displayed pretty much every like 30 to 45 seconds or so. They'll roll through, showing Matherly and Shirley. Those 14 points between them. But as it runs, it would be down to 11, like I said. Seth Shirley has to take a deep breath after that crash and settle back down. 9-second advantage on Cade Matherly. Out to 10 seconds as I say that. Holt going to hang tight here on the 85 to keep it close. And Leitzel fired back up to get around Caden Speck and try to get into 4th place here. Doolies. Oh, this jump is perfect for it. Leitzel going to try to double up the inside, get to this rut, and will do so. Does he complete the pass? Speck is trying to fight back, but Leitzel shuts the door. He's in 4th. Oh. Rear end kind of kicked back across the nose there of Speck coming out of that section. Down that inside line, pushing all the way through the corner. Leitzel swoops that outside as well, so he's on it right now, man. Looking really solid on the 1 machine, trying to close up on Evan Holt. Let's get a lap time check, shall we? 151.7, 151 flat his best. A 153.1 out of Holt, and a 153 flat out of Matherly. 150.7, Seth Shirley resets the fastest lap of the race, but the man on the move right now is Logan Leitzel. Consistently down in those 51s, trying to get around Evan Holt and move up into the 3 spot. Make life difficult for Cade Matherly as well today if he can get up there and battle with him for 2nd place. The inside, trying to make it happen, not quite close enough just yet. Gives you a great perspective, though, of thinking maybe you have the pass done, and then Holt swoops back in and maintains the position. Good fight, though, between these two. Holt has looked so solid these last couple weeks. Outside for Leitzel this time, turns to the inside here. Look at that, using both of those lines in that corner to make a pass and gets it done again. He is now 3rd around Evan Holt, and at the moment is running quicker lap times than Cade Matherly ahead of him. So can the defending champ try to run down the potential new champ? Or actually, does Evan Holt have something to say about this 3 position? Not quite done just yet. That is a suggestion the server's still lagging a little bit right there. Leitzel went clean down the middle of that straightaway, and the cameras took a little while to switch. Took another little bit to switch right there. Now they're kind of back on cue there. We've just about crested to the halfway point of this moto. We're almost at the 15-minute mark. And while Shirley continues to pull away at the front, the battle for second is starting to heat up again, because Matherly just made a couple mistakes, and Leitzel has been inching the gap down. Outside line for both of them, launching into those rollers. You see Seth Shirley disappearing the other way down the hill. There's a little bit of a lag just for Leitzel. I don't know if that was server lag. Usually when the rider disappears like that and it's only him, it usually tends to be his own personal lag, which means he is somewhere with not great internet. I won't say poor internet. But Leitzel has, over the years, raced at McDonald's, and I think he raced at a Starbucks one time, because he's been on the road racing professional motocross and supercross for the past couple of years. And on top of that, also, of course, is your defending 250 national champion in this game. So he certainly raced quite a few different locations. This battle for second is certainly heating up just a little bit more. It feels like Matherly is either taking it a little bit easy and conservative, or just does not have the speed that we've seen out of him all season long tonight. I would assume it's the former of that situation. He's trying to just make sure he doesn't crash, but man, he's got Leitzel closing up, and Holt and Tharp are still fairly close. Leitzel just has a rear end kick out right there, so loses a little bit of time, but there is Holt, and here comes Braden Tharp on the 20. He is still after it, trying to tighten this gap up. And why it might not be the best thing ever for Matherly to play conservative here tonight is if, let's say in this moto alone, he finishes fifth, he loses 9 points to Shirley. It goes from 14 down to 5. You give yourself so little wiggle room in the second moto, where if you crash on the first couple laps and you're way back, you have to gain so many positions and so much time against some really talented guys. But it now seems like he's maybe started to get it rolling a little bit more. Like I said, inched away from Leitzel with that mistake. But Tharp has gotten around Holt. Holt's still back there, but Tharp is on the move. 1:49.9, new fastest lap of the race. Braden Tharp, number 20 on that Covenant machine. Bounce into that inside at the bottom of the hill right there. Ooh. Awkward little wham and jam through there for Tharp. Not quite as clean as he'd hoped, and because of it, it's going to lose quite a bit of time. You see Leitzel up the road just a little bit, starting to inch up to the rear tire of Matherly again. So 4 riders on your screen there down that back straightaway as Shirley continues to lead this race. I think Shirley had a small mistake or a crash at one point. Inside line for Leitzel before the finish line. Going to pull up even with Matherly. Let's see if he gets that pass done. Matherly looked like he kind of glitched a little bit. Leitzel up alongside will, in fact, complete the pass into second position. So Matherly loses 2 more points. And here comes Tharp. Tharp around the inside. Going to turn to the... around the outside, turns to the inside and pushes Matherly wide. He is now into third. And wow, so we got Cade and Logan both streaming. Or we got Logan streaming, I should say. Oh, Matherly kicked sideways. But allegedly, Cade is lagging bad on Logan's stream, but Logan doesn't appear to be lagging, at least according to chat right now on Twitch. Interesting dynamic as Leitzel just laid it down. Here comes Tharp trying to pass him into second place. He'll get it. Got a lapped rider also right here in front of Matherly that the number 25 machine is going to have to deal with. And boy, does this set up such an interesting dynamic heading into the final moto. Where Matherly right now has put himself in a situation where he would need to finish 4th or better in the final moto, no matter what Shirley does, and he could secure the title. He's in 4th now, so he's doing a good job, but I mean, Evan Holt has been close. Bodie Parker hasn't exactly lost touch with them. Neither has Caden Speck back there. I think Ben Narana's also in the mix. So Matherly finally gets around some lap traffic. Oh, we got Tharp crossing up with Leitzel. Leitzel gets back around Tharp into the 2 spot. He'll cross over just in front of Tharp. Now let's see what Tharp does. Does he square off the corner right here? He's going to push into the first corner. It's going to swing to the outside, but turn to the inside right here. Meanwhile, Leitzel way around the outside. Tharp crosses over and completes the pass back into 2nd place. So Tharp now up into 2nd. Leitzel back to 3rd. They're still all chasing Seth Shirley, and one thing now you have to think about a little bit is Tharp's speed has been such that he could maybe even run down Seth Shirley in the lead if he runs consistent enough lap times. They're now in the 54s, but Shirley's lead's at 8.9 seconds. It's coming down a little bit as well, and Tharp has been on the move. We are just now cresting into the final 10 minutes and 2 laps of this moto. On board with Tharp, watching that gap come down, now 7.3 seconds. You also have to factor in, and being the first one there is always the worst. Tharp launching out. It's that double clean down into the valley. Really nice line right there. Lands on the side of the track. Keeps the power planted. And really keen to see what the lap times are. Here's our leader, Shirley. Didn't seem like it was all that bad of a lap out of Shirley. Maybe a little mistake around the midpoint of it, and lays down a 54.7. So right on cue where he has been doing his laps. This one for Tharp feels like a 52, maybe 51. And server lag puts it at a 51.9 for Braden Tharp. So he is going almost 3 seconds a lap faster, and we have got more than 3 laps to go this race. Being 6 seconds back, he could catch him on speed outright. So Leitzel still 3rd. Here is Matherly in 4th. And Holt just behind him, rounding out our top 5. So if you're Cade Matherly, he's really just trying to stay smooth, keep it easy. Got yellow flags waving. Who is down? That is McPherson off the side of the track. So lap traffic. Matherly launches off the top of the hill. And just trying to take it easy, not push the pace, don't go down. There's Alec Horn, Caden Speck, Bodie Parker, Hayden Stevenson, Dylan Cavicciuti. You kind of get a sense where all these guys are in comparison to Matherly, who's already 4 or 5 corners up the road. So he's in a position right now where really his main worry is not letting Evan Holt beat him this moto. Holt is about 7-8 seconds behind him in 5th, and Matherly cannot afford in this moto, I feel like, to finish in 5th, especially with the form that Shirley has showed today. That Tharp picking it up. Yes, Tharp just went down and is now right in front of Cade Matherly. But that's another thing with these crashes from Tharp and Leitzel pushing the pace. They end up right in front of Matherly, which can be a good thing in some sense because you might luck out and steal a late pass from one of them. It also could be a bad thing because suddenly they're down in a blind spot in front of you. You don't know they're there. You land on them, you go down yourself, and then Evan Holt gets by you as Tharp would pick it up and continue on. So Matherly hopefully has a spotter helping him out, carefully and methodically working through all that stuff. Tharp rolls it through the first turn into turn number 2. So not much going on right now in the ways of battles, but the championship dynamic certainly shaping up to be an interesting one rolling into the final moto. As of right now, Seth Surley is picking up 25 points with this potential moto win. Cade Matherly is picking up 18 points running in 4th place. It is a 7-point swing first to 4th place. And so we would see the gap go from 14 back for Seth Surley down to 7 back rolling into the final moto as it runs. Of course, there is still 6 minutes and 2 laps left to go. And we'll see whether or not anything changes with either Surley maybe not winning this one or Matherly getting some passes or getting passed again to change the situation as well. But as we've talked about a few times already today, it is Matherly who possesses the tiebreaker, we believe, on overalls and moto wins, even if Surley goes 1-1 here today at Ironman. So Surley cannot tie Matherly and win this championship. He would need to beat him, and that means that going into the next moto, Matherly would still only need to finish 4th or higher if it stays as is to win the title. They would tie on points if Matherly goes 4-4 to Surley's 1-1 today. But Matherly has the tiebreaker. So, see how that plays out as Leitzel just rode the nose heavy on track re-entry and finds himself in a battle alongside Cade Matherly for 3rd. See Matherly launching out behind Leitzel. Doesn't really seem like he wants to get involved in a battle, because if he goes down, Holtze is still lurking back there, about maybe 6 seconds behind Matherly, I would guess, somewhere in that area. Still 10-second lead for Surley, and then another 10 or so seconds back to this battle. So yeah, it's a 7-second difference right now between Matherly and Holt, which means if Matherly goes down, Holt would pass him. That is less than a full fall-off crash. As a mistake for Leitzel, he goes wide. I don't know if that was intentional or not. He kind of landed awkward and was pushed outside. So now we'll see whether he puts the pressure back on and tries to get back around Cade Matherly or not. He's really starting to work these outside lines. Doesn't seem like he's as comfortable in the deep chop of the inside stuff. But Matherly moving up to 3rd, and that is going to be 2 more points gained for him here. So right now only losing 5 points. Go from 14 up to 9 up with 1 moto to go. Woo! Got that rear tire dancing a little bit. And it seems like since he's past Leitzel now, he looks a little bit more feisty and eager to try to open the gap up instead of fall back into his clutches. Like I said, the last thing he wants is a battle, because while battles are fun and cool and awesome, it just takes one of you having a weird moment to end up going down together, or even yourself going down. And speaking of battles, not only is Leitzel trying to get back around him, they are catching Tharp, who looks like he just went down. So look at Matherly launching out, trying to keep Leitzel behind him. Okay, that was purposeful. Leitzel had the speed down the inside and backed out of the challenge. I don't know then if Leitzel is interested at all in passing Matherly. We'll see. He's got another good drive right here. Looks inside there. But this also, as much as maybe Leitzel's trying to help Matherly, could be considered a bit of a detriment, because all you're doing in this situation is putting a lot of pressure on him and forcing him to ride maybe out of his comfort zone. Like right there, a mistake for both riders. Leitzel hopping in sideways almost went down. Matherly got it wrong and elected to go outside. Lap traffic down right there, so Tharp has snuck away. Surley has got a sizable advantage down into the final 2 minutes and 2 laps of this race, so it looks like this is his moto to win. Now, where does Matherly end up? Does Leitzel get him? Does he get back around Tharp? Or do things really get weird and then maybe even Holt get back into it? But Holt is now 17 seconds behind Logan Leitzel, and it seems like Matherly has got things pretty well lined up here, but we're having still the server lag going on here. So now we're down into the 57s. These guys still struggling a little bit on that speed. 56.6, 53.5, 53.7 for our 2 leaders. And to me, it does seem like Leitzel doesn't have an interest in passing Cade Matherly, so he'll be content to remain 4th if the status quo remains. Both of them hook that outside rut nicely. Leitzel's got another good drive, trying to pull even with Matherly to the top of the hill. Matherly scrubs it down, gets to this, middle rut. Leitzel swings out wide. And it's just so tough to read whether or not Leitzel is trying to set up a pass or just maybe trying to push Matherly. Outside line right here, and almost had it. Goes off the track. So Matherly maintains the 3 spot. And Leitzel now backing off just a little bit now, so it does appear that Matherly is going to have second to himself. There's a rider down, but it is a lap rider, I think. Well, Tharp was down somewhere. It was a lap rider that was down. Don't see the number, the 42. I think that's Gerst. But Tharp went down. So this is actually now Matherly into second place. He is still just ahead of Leitzel there. And then Tharp behind Leitzel now. So there's 2, 3, 4 on your screen right there coming into view. And this is just getting weirder and weirder. But now the 2-lap board, I believe, is out. Time has expired. And I don't think Shirley checked in 52 seconds ago. So I think 2 laps to go now. And Matherly still has Leitzel and Tharp breathing down his neck. Just do not crash. Do not crash. Tharp down the inside gets around Leitzel, who is off the track. Ooh, look at that little hop into the corner right there by Tharp. That was sweet. He's going to tuck to this far inside. Still doubles out of the corner nicely. Scrubbing at the top of the hill there for Tharp. Bouncing in. That inside bump has gotten so huge. Matherly only losing the 3 points as it runs right now. Shirley is gone at the front of this field right now. Leitzel starting to put the pressure back on Tharp in a battle for third. Looking inside, Tharp shuts the door. Lap traffic comes to a halt coming out of that corner, and as these guys push each other, Matherly still sits just up the road. Oh, Leitzel down and off the bike as well. Not sure what happened, but I saw him flipping on the backside of that jump as he crested over it. So either swapped out or clipped a foot peg on a scrub or something like that. So this will be down to Matherly versus Tharp in a battle for second. Meanwhile, white flag has waved. Seth Shirley is doing everything he can do in this situation to try to win this championship, and that is get out front and pull away. On his way to another moto win, battle for second, coming across the line. Here comes Tharp. Down the inside, gets back by Matherly. And Tharp almost came to a complete stop on the straightaway right there. Matherly goes back by, and now I have lost all sense of what is happening here. Is Tharp helping or hurting Matherly because he passed him and then stopped, but I couldn't tell where he was on the track, if Matherly knew he was stopping or if Tharp was stopping to try to block Matherly. Either way, he's back on his horse trying to pull up behind him. Leitzel's still back here. Just about 10 seconds behind Tharp. Tharp is not looking as feisty as he was, so maybe he's backed out of the challenge. So about a half a lap to go for Cade Matherly trying to secure second. Only a few turns left for Seth Shirley trying to win this moto. And as it runs, it would go from 14 down to an 11-point gap. As Shirley picks up a crucial 25 points to get up to 427 points. So Matherly would sit on 438. And sitting in a great position going into that final moto if it stays as is. Here it is. Final corner. Seth Shirley did everything he could do. He wins 250 Moto 1 at Ironman and sets the tone for the rest of the evening. So the championship fight will live to the final moto of the year, but is it going to be 11 or 9 points as Tharp remains close? Matherly down the final sand section. Tharp going to be close enough that cuts could always come into play as well. And he's gotten really close at the flag. Matherly gets second by 2/10. We'll see if penalties affect that. And Leitzel will indeed pick up fourth, but he's going to be too far back there. Here is Holt, who has put together a really strong fifth place moto here. Alec Horn looks like he's got sixth, all but locked up. Seventh place battle going on. Speck and Stevenson. Speck is going to hold it on and come across there in the 7th spot, just narrowly. Stevenson did get close. He ends up 8th. Alex Doyle, who hole shot this moto, came out of nowhere a little bit. Looks like he is about to pick up a 9th place finish just ahead of Dylan Cavicciuti. And he will. So Cavicciuti ends up in 10th. 11th will be Emmanuel Cepeda. 12th for Bodie Parker. 13th for Jack Gatlin out of the Consi for him. Great ride. Jeremy Seabolt in 14th here on the 10. 15th for Lucas Bruin. 16th is Nick Niles. 17th for Evan Vanderkoy. Last rider on the lead lap, and some good points for Evmoof. 18th for Cash Woods. 19th for Race Cobble, and 20th for Brett Powers there on the 40. So we'll wait for those penalties to come in, see if Matherly loses that 2 spot, but Shirley has won this moto to the tune of 24 seconds. Here we go with penalties, and no, it stays the same. Only some penalties, a little bit, a second of penalties there for Shirley, but none for Matherly or Tharp. So Matherly up 11 points going into the final moto. 438 to 427 is the situation, and I'm going to quickly update that so that you guys can see that. So now it should read across the bottom of your screen the updated standings going into the final moto of the 250 class season. But coming up next, we've got 450 moto number 1, and there is only 5 points in it between Leclerc and Payson Johnson in this one. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll jump back in the intermission screen and hang out for a minute, talk about some stuff, as Matherly sits in a position to clinch this 250 championship with, what would it be, 6th place or better in the next moto. Well, 7th place or better. Because if he finishes 7th, he gets 14 points. And if Shirley wins, that is 25, but that is an 11-point swing. They would tie. Matherly has the tiebreaker. So 7th or better for Cade Matherly in Moto 2. Needs a 2-7 today to win the championship. Shirley going to try to win that second moto and do everything he can, but I think based on what we saw in that first moto, Matherly has the speed to at least finish top 5 relatively easily as long as he doesn't get involved in some chaos early on. So we'll see, though, what happens in that second moto. Coming up, though, like I said, 450 Moto 1, 5 points in it between Leclerc and Johnson. I have to imagine Johnson has the tiebreaker, Moto wins and overalls. Leclerc's been good, but not as good as Payson Johnson has in terms of outright speed. But Johnson had a couple weirdo weeks. He chose to race a 2-stroke at Washougal, gave Leclerc an overall win there. And Leclerc at one point was fairly comfortable in the lead with 6 motos to go. Won the first moto at Unadilla, was even more comfortable. And then Moto 2 at Unadilla and Budds Creek last week also not really what we expect out of the 4-time champion. I almost said 5-time, but 4-time champion Alexis Leclerc, making it a possibility that Johnson can claw this thing all the way back from, I think he was 22 points back at one point, and maybe still win this championship. We'll have to see. No shower beers today. Trying to take it easy tonight because I got to get on a plane tomorrow to head to Ironman. But I'll pick a whole shot guy in a second. We'll see who might pick up the Studio 8 whole shot award. Good to see everyone hanging out, having a good time. Almost 300 people watching live tuned in to see this titanic battle. Two of the best ever to do it, really. I'd have to imagine you'd put Leclerc 1A or 1B all time in this game, and Johnson ascending the list rather quickly with his accolades and championships that he has racked up. And they are set to decide a title here tonight at Ironman in perhaps some of the most dramatic ways that we've seen. Hopefully we get some good fights all the way to the end, and I have to imagine it'll go all the way to the final moto unless Leclerc wins and Johnson has something terrible go wrong this moto. We'll see this go all the way to the final moto, but we'll see. Joe Slow loves Payson Johnson. He my fave MX simulator ever. All caps, lower cases mixed in right there. Alec King says Russ Chapman might make a comeback. You never know. He raced for Grant Harlan this year at one point, so he got a nice little quick perma ban there again. I don't have time to go over top 5 serials, but we'll do that for an off-season stream. All right, let's see who we got going to the gate here in 450 Moto number 1. You've got Alexis Leclerc, Steve Bonnell, Brandon Cocroft, McLean, O'Brien, Olsen, Blakely, Castellaneta, Brennan, Holiak, Larson, Jackson, Thomas Sunis, Boardman, Larson, Holiak, White, Eaglin, Gummison, JGMX, Jason Stubbs, Bear, Heckman, Parks, Carter, Rogers, Burns, Johnson, Rockefeller, Pruitt, Nico, Gary Laser Eyes, Keegan Riley, Devin Davis, Jacob Hubbard, Cooper Hunt, Estrella, Hall, Lang, Balzer, Liam Atkinson, I think, and Walter Gebhardt. I am going to go with Cooper Hunt for the whole shot. Studio 8 whole shot. I'm picking Cooper Hunt. We'll see how it turns out as we'll go back in the server and get ready to go racing here. The MX Sim came stuff before Racer X for me for a long time. I was in MX Sim for 8 years before I got the job at Racer X. All right, folks, here we go. This is what you've all came to see. Payson Johnson versus Alexis Leclerc. 30 minutes plus 2 laps for 450 Moto number 1 here at Ironman. Who is going to get the whole shot? We'll take a look at Hubbard. Let's see. We're waiting on the 137. Might get timed out. I don't know if that's going to be a red flag for him or not. Usually it's not. And of course, we are waiting on somebody. Who is 137? Oh, there we go. Did they load in? I have no idea, but we are ready and set to go. We're going to look at Hubbard alongside the box. Actually, no, let's go inside and figure out who's up there on the inside. We got Leclerc, we got Johnson down the inside. We're taking a look at Blakely. Here we go. 450 Moto 1 from Ironman is off and running. The 40 got off the grate really well. Leclerc's into the first corner good as well. Up the inside, we got guys flipping. Jacob Hubbard rips the Studio 8 hole shot and goes right off the track and disconnects. He wanted it bad. Tyler laying out front. You've got the 40 of Tanner Rogers up there. Holiak is also in the mix. Leclerc, Cooper Hunt, all up at the front, and I'm trying to see where is Johnson. I do not see the one machine mixed up here. We saw Liam on the one go down as Cooper Hunt crosses in front of Leclerc. Lang is leading this though. So it is Lang off the top of the hill. Cooper Hunt now into second, Leclerc into third. It looks like Rogers may have gone down as Holiak swaps at the bottom. Cooper Hunt trying to go after Lang for the lead. And I'm trying to see where the one machine is. We're going to take a look at the running order across the top of your screen here while we look at Lang blow the lead at the front. Cooper Hunt takes over. Leclerc down the inside trying to get into second place. Lang will get back by him momentarily. He stays ahead. Leclerc to the outside. Lang keeps it on the inside and will stay second. Cooper Hunt is leading, though. Where is Johnson? The one machine, 21st place as Leclerc looks to go into second place. He's alongside Lang. Down the inside. Gonna make that pass stick. Will he? Yes, he crosses over to block the line on Lang, but Lang is gonna use this outside. Will it work for him? Oh, Leclerc really good through that inside. So he's in a great position. Now in second place behind Cooper Hunt. Let us go find Payson Johnson. Where is the defending champion? Not the championship leader, I should say. The defending champion. Oh, he's not this far back, is he? No, we must have missed him. So he is further up than 20th now. Was that him down? Yeah, it is. He is down on the inside right here. And he is way down the order. 33rd place. And he's getting hit from behind and goes down again. That's Brady White. That was such a weird crash. You never see guys get hit from behind and go down. But Johnson picks it up. He is now 37th place at the end of lap number 1 as Leclerc sits in second place. This is massively detrimental for this championship for Payson Johnson. I don't see a red flag call. It looks like whoever 137 was did get in. Hubbard hole shot and immediately disconnected. And yeah, so Liam Atkinson cut the track somewhere, I think, or is lagging really bad because he is well down the order, but showing that he's mixed up with these guys. I'm trying to see the 137 machine. There it is, Cocroft, who was lagging his way in. He did start this moto, so it is officially a clean start. Everyone made it in, and now Payson Johnson has a load of work to do. Let's go on board and watch how he tries to manage this. Gonna try to get into 34th right there, and does. Now behind Nick Tomasunis, all that white gear. Very clear as day who that is. Gonna scrub up alongside him here. Tomasunis actually even stayed lower, but case the jump. Johnson's gonna force the issue down the inside here, and we'll just make that pass stick. I think for a lot of these guys, they're not really aware that Johnson is back here, and I don't know that anyone really wants to ruin Johnson's chances of going for a title here, so they're going to play as nicely as they can with him, I assume. Not necessarily give him the position, but not fight him tooth and nail for 31st. Gets around Heckman. Or not quite yet, but this is what it's like to get passed by Payson Johnson on board with Alex Heckman. And Johnson also gets Aaron Rockefeller. He is now 30th. And about to be 29th, or 28th, I should say. A couple riders down in the final corner, so gained 9 spots that lap. And the progress continues. Let's go back to our leaders and see what that situation looks like. Cooper Hunt is out front, and right now he is trying to be Payson Johnson's best friend and teammate. District Designs for both riders. And Leclerc will have to pass Cooper Hunt to win this moto. But arguably the bigger story is if he just stays on 2 wheels, there's almost no chance Johnson gets to him. Okay, Leclerc has elected to come to a stop and change his setup in second place. He just stopped, waited the 2 seconds that you need before the game allows you to change your setup, and then change his setup while on the leader. That is unbelievable. And then Hunt went down or something, and now he's right in front of Leclerc. So already some very interesting things going on. And Hunt continues to lead this race. Now you can see Leclerc stop the rear tire, kind of do a little like pop, and that was probably it shifting the setup and bouncing or whatever it was doing. But definitely that was a setup change. There's no reason to come to a complete stop like that. Otherwise, I mean, unless he has nobody spotting for him and he didn't want to crash, so what he did is come to a stop and switch all the way back to see where Johnson was, so that it maybe changes how he approaches the race. I don't know. I've really never seen anybody stop to change their setup until this year, and now these guys seem to do it every moto. But Hunt not getting away from Leclerc, but they are both getting away from the rest of the field by a decent little margin, a second between them, and then Holiak back about 7 seconds off the lead. Blakely, Rogers up in the mix. So what happened to Lang on the 5? He is not up here anymore. Rogers, Balzer, Boardman now in the 7th, Lang now 8th, Jackson, Carter, and then Rogers slipping back to 11th. So we'll check on that in a moment. Where is Johnson? Want to see how the defending champ is making his progress through the field. Here he is. He is now 21st, a 50.9 last time by, working on Cocroft on the 137 to try to get into the points. Big scrub down the hill for Johnson. And yeah, for those of you confused about the setup change, basically Leclerc, this is the Leclerc rule is really what it is. In 2014, Leclerc, all of us were watching him off the start. He'd get massive hole shots in every Supercross main event, and we'd all get confused, like, how does he have such low sagging rear suspension, get great starts, and then survive the rest of the race without legs off crashes for the rear suspension being so soft? And what we found out was he would go off of Supercross triples on the first lap of the race. You'd literally see him boner air. That's how we started calling him straight air Leclerc. And the suspension would kind of compress. And that's how we knew, like, okay, yeah, he's doing something funky. It's not a brake tap, because it wouldn't compress and send him back flat. It would just compress, and he would stay floating straight through the air. And we found out that he was doing setup changes on the first lap of the race on a Supercross triple in Supercross after hole shotting. And so JLV, the game creator, in order to fix that, but really just make it so that it's not doable to change your setup on the fly, made it so you have to be completely stopped for 2 seconds before you can load a setup. Because in this game, you can load a suspension setup by doing /read setup in the chat, and it'll load a suspension that you have loaded up. So as long as you have that chat message pre-typed, all he needed to do was hit T, enter, and then escape out of the chat off of a Supercross triple, and that's how he would change his setup as Johnson goes down. But that is the rule. That is what changed. It is now 2 seconds completely stopped, not touching anything before you can change your setup. And that's what we just saw Alexis Leclerc do. So Johnson goes down. He falls out of the points momentarily, but is now back into them. He's up to 20th. And I want to get a kind of an idea of, like, track position. So Leclerc is now in the race lead. He has taken over at the front of the field. There is Cooper Hunt in second. Yeah, right there. And then third right here is Connor Holiak. Steve Bonnell coming to your frame right here in fourth, and Chase Blakely in fifth. Kyle Boardman sixth, with Rasmus Balzer seventh, and Frank Jackson in eighth coming into your screen. Tanner Rogers in ninth there in the background. Colby Eaglin 10th. Jared Gummison now moving to 10th, I should say. Tyler Lang. Also right there is Trevor Burns. And looks like Lang may have gone down. We're trying to shuffle through these guys and get to where Payson Johnson is. There's Eaglin, there's Lang, there's a 73 of Larson going through. And that is Cocroft, and there is Johnson. So that is the gap all the way from Leclerc, your leader, back to where the defending champion Payson Johnson is. It was a 5-point gap back to Johnson in the championship entering this moto. And for those of you that are saying, oh, championship's over, it's cooked, Leclerc wins, whatever, don't count that out, because Leclerc won the first moto at Unadilla, then finished 6th in the second moto, or I should say was about to finish 6th, got 4th on penalties. But that's a situation where if Johnson can somehow get all the way back to, 2nd in this race and wins the second moto, it still puts the pressure on Leclerc to do his job and finish inside the top 5 and get the points needed to clinch this championship. And, maybe you say, oh, that's easy for Leclerc, but he has not made it look easy the last 3 motos of this championship that we've raced. Finally, he's in a position to win again. But if you're Johnson, just chip away, man. Just get through these guys, get as far as you possibly can. You still have 20 minutes of this moto left to work with. And he's trying to get around Cocroft. Cocroft is really making him work for it, which, hey, like I said, these guys are in fights for their own situation here. But Johnson now moves to 17th. Now looks up the road. We know Brennan would be the next rider for him, with Brandon Larson just ahead of that. So Johnson continues to charge forward. 17th place is only 4 points. So actually, Leclerc would clinch the championship if it stayed this way, winning with Johnson not gaining the 5 points needed to at least flip the tides. And Johnson gets landed on by Brennan, goes off the track and continues on. What's up? You want to come watch some momos? Come on up. You see the orange one and the green one? Right on. Look at these guys battling. What do you see? Do you like the blue one? Do you want to watch the blue one? Look, there's the blue one. That one's blue. See, we're looking on to see the blue one on the screen? That's Payson Johnson. He is trying to pass into 15th place right now. Hey, whoa, bless you. Trying to catch up to Tyler Lang. Jared Gummison. Oh, Gummison gets pushed wide by Lang, and splitting the gap goes Payson Johnson. Hey, Holly. I love you too, Holly. All right, back to the action. Johnson is now up alongside Larson. Larson holds the position for the time being. Down the inside, though, Johnson is going to get back alongside Doolies. Oh, fat ones, too. You love to see it. And fat with a PH for sure. Those are thick with 5 Cs. No question about it. Johnson gets it done, though, and moves his way into, I believe that's 13th. Yeah. So 13th place. 52.9. And gap-wise is going to have a little bit of time to get up to 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, all in a train, sort of. Actually, Ryder just went down in that group. Carter and Rogers down together. And interesting little note here is this is actually Leclerc's teammates that he's coming up on. He gets Rogers, who is down, so he's now 12th. But Carter, I should say, is Leclerc's teammate, or really team owner. Braden Carter owns the field ski and snowboard team in which Leclerc rides for. I don't think Carter is going to mess with Johnson in this sense, though. I think he knows the situation and is not keen to mess with it in any shape or form, but we'll see. So Johnson, 150 flat last time by, now to 12th. He is going faster than everybody except Balzer. Ahead of him. Literally faster than everybody except Balzer, and Balzer was just down in 6th place right there. So I haven't talked too much about what else is going on in this field. We got Leclerc leading. Steve Bonnell is now in 2nd place. Impact 999, looking like Rui Gonzalez out there, as he has moved into 2nd place. He's got Connor Holiak on the 154, and part of why I think it's still possible for Johnson to get 2nd in this moto is there's not really a consistent flow with what's going on in 2nd place right now. It was Cooper Hunt. He's now 4th behind this group. Bonnell's now off the track. It was Holiak in 2nd at one point. He gave it up to Bonnell. They're all losing tons of time to Leclerc, and really all they're doing is making it more and more possible as they stay closer to Johnson, that Johnson could get up there and get all the way to 2nd. So as we reach the halfway point now, 15 minutes left to go plus a lap, or plus 2 laps, I should say. Cooper Hunt down the inside gets back around Holiak and Bonnell. Whoa. So Cooper Hunt back into 2nd, got around Holiak. Holiak not getting the double. Bonnell almost landed on him, goes alongside of him, up the Godzilla, then crosses over in front of him. And nobody dualies because they almost hit each other. So Holiak back down the inside. Oh, and now look at Cooper Hunt's down again. Oh, looks like Johnson lost another position, though. Or, no, he did a 149.1. What? Carter just went down, so Johnson is going to pass him right there. There goes Johnson into 11th. But Eaglin, I thought, well, maybe I'm reading that situation wrong. All right, let's go back to situation room here. Alexis Leclerc leading this race. Bonnell back in second. Holiak third. Cooper Hunt fourth. Chase Blakely is fifth. He's got Balzer right behind him, though. So Balzer closing up, trying to get on the tail feathers there of Chase Blakely in a battle for fifth place. And all these battles, again, are kind of slowing the pace. Oh, my goodness, what a pass by Balzer. And Holiak was down. Blakely's trying to fight back. They both get around Holiak up into fourth now. Blakely's got the inside line in the next corner. Balzer is going to try to rip this middle rut and maintain the spot, and he does. Beautiful pass. Rouse was Balzer, and then he absolutely yard sales. Goggles and boots everywhere. They're on discount, folks. Pick them up. Gonna go back to sixth position now as Blakely finds himself fourth. He's down with Holiak at the finish line jump. They're now 35 seconds off the lead. I almost want to see how far back Johnson is compared to these guys again. So Leclerc has now a 20-second lead on Steve Bonnell. Cooper Hunt is still in third, 4 seconds back of that. Blakely now 13 seconds back of him in fourth. Balzer fifth. Jackson sixth, right behind him. Holiak 2 seconds back in seventh. Another 2 seconds back to Boardman in eighth. Another 2 seconds back to Payson Johnson in ninth. So yes, this is actually starting to come to fruition as I thought it might. He is going to catch the tail end of this group of riders. Pretty much go all the way up to fourth. Got his teammate Trevor Burns right behind him still. But it puts Johnson in a position here to maybe still get into a podium position before this moto's done. He's ninth, 53.6 last time by. Looks like he's a little uncomfortable right now, though. Front end kind of pushing in these corners as he tries to close the gap down on Kyle Boardman. But I think Boardman, right, he is a MX Bikes crossover guy as well. Always see the Bikes folks in the chat cheering him on. So I'm sticking with this camera just for a second because I'm trying to keep an eye forward and see if any of the guys ahead of him make mistakes. I could just go first person, but it's easier to see farther ahead. Oh, Johnson goes down. Rear tire kicks out, but he conveniently takes Burns and Eaglin with him. Loses a spot to Lang and Carter, but he did only lose those 2 spots. He could have lost 4 to 2 more really fast guys in the process. So Johnson slips back to 11th, and Carter and Lang are going to be 2 heavy hitters he will have to pass again. Battle on right here as Jackson is all over Chase Blakely. This is for the 5 spot. Who's that behind them? That is lap traffic, so not for position, but Jackson trying to get around Blakely. Crossover line. Jackson kind of landed rough right there, so not able to get a good drive up Godzilla. And straight airs it to the top, but still right on Blakely for 5th. Got a great run right there. Almost onto the back of him. Oh, really hopping through those bumps. The rider down up here. Not for a position. A couple guys down. Heckman and Liam Atkinson by the looks of it. So more lap traffic. As the lappers are just everywhere right now. Frank Jackson splitting 2 of them. Still trying to tail Chase Blakely. Then you got Balzer 4th. Steve Bonnell in 3rd. Cooper Hunt in 2nd. And Leclerc is... folks, Alexis Leclerc is gone. He is well out front right now. Balzer down. Here comes Blakely. Blakely will get him. But Balzer will crucially stay ahead of Frank Jackson. And Balzer now in the tough blocks, gets sideways, almost goes down. And there is Holiak in the background, Carter and Lang then just behind that. And now Johnson still not really making too many inroads on this battle between Lang and Carter. A couple 450 champions going at it in 8th and 9th, I think it is. Carter, your 3-time and defending Moto Option Supercross champion. Tyler Lang, the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National champion. Just giving it to each other right now. They're going after it, chasing down Connor Holiak. Look at Lang, almost tripled out and then tire tapped. Carter was so spooked by that, he just went straight off the track and didn't turn. So Johnson, what did he just put down? 53.9. Not really the times he was running earlier on, which really was helping his case out. So cut his teammate Burns right behind him. So he could get up to maybe 5th still, 4th, I guess, with Jackson. I feel like Bonnell would be a stretch. And maybe Cooper Hunt pulls over? I don't know. I don't know how close Hunt and Johnson are as teammates, but the points would help. But all these guys are basically stacked together. Now Johnson has once again caught the tail end of this group. He's got Carter just ahead of him. Needs to not crash right there. What does Johnson put down right now? He goes 48.8. All right, now we got the freight train rolling here. So he has got a host of riders right in front of him to pass as Holiak and Carter stack up together. There's Blakely, there's Lang, Nick Thomas-Sunis just kind of hanging out as Holiak crosses in front of his teammate Carter right there. Oh, Thomas-Sunis down on the rear tire of Carter. So this is Johnson in 10th, chasing down Carter in 9th. And then Holiak right in front of that. Blakely just got passed by Lang. Dualies, trilies, quadsies were tossed them fat at the top of Godzilla. Oh, Johnson almost laid it down. 5 riders in the air at the same time. Look at how close all these guys are, and Johnson is just sitting back there going, please give me these positions. Cooper Hunt 38 seconds off the lead now. Bonnell's right on him. And then Balzer, Jackson, Lang. There's a whole group, really. Johnson can see basically straight up to 4th. And then there's only 12 seconds in front of that as Holiak goes down. Carter gets hung up. Does Carter lose the position to Johnson? He does. Johnson now into 8th. And Lang is going at it with Blakely, man. They've been dogfighting this whole lap. Still has not got it done, and now Johnson's going to be right on him as they go out of the bridge jump. Oh, the camera getting a little bit wonky because Lang went through our living room, and there is Johnson all over him. So it looks like Carter maybe went down again. He is not on those guys anymore, and Johnson plows into Blakely, who stood it up in the corner, and then Blakely panic revs, drops the clutch, and flips over. So now Johnson up into 7th. But a little bit unkiltered now with that crash. Frank Jackson has slipped behind Lang. Lang has gotten all the way to 5th. And then Balzer just up ahead of them in 4th. Here's Bonnell in 3rd and Cooper Hunt in 2nd. And so Johnson's about 20 seconds back of Hunt right now with 5 minutes and 2 laps left to play. That is 2nd place on the track right there. So let's kind of look at this real quick for a second. What's going on with Cooper Hunt here? Okay. So I want to wait till we get to a point where we can see these guys coming head on. So there is Hunt in 2nd. That is a lapped rider. And there is Steve Bonnell on the red machine there in 3rd. There is Balzer on the 35 right there in 4th. And then Lang in 5th on the 5 right there. 28 of Jackson in 6th. Burns is now up to 7th. So what happened to Johnson? There is Johnson in 8th. Or did Burns get... Yeah, Burns just got by Jackson as well. So Johnson now back to 8th, but just kind of shows how far the gap is to his teammate there in 2nd, Cooper Hunt. So this is really playing magnificently into the hands of Alexis Leclerc at this point in time, because even if Johnson can get, let's say, 5th in this moto, he'd still lose 9 points to Leclerc and go from a 5-point deficit to a 14-point deficit. And all this time we thought the 450 title drama might be the craziest. The 250 class ends up being closer going into the final moto as it stands. So Johnson really has to get on his horse and not crash these last few laps to make some inroads in terms of the championship picture. .58.1, definitely had a crash last time by. That's why Burns went by. Burns in his own right riding really well. 48.8. He's side by side right now with Frank Jackson. And just scoots right on by him. So Johnson hopping through the bumps as well, just like Burns. Would have maybe just seen Cooper Hunt going the other way in 2nd, but you can just see now the physical distance as Heckman goes flipping down the hill. Jackson, Burns, 6th, or 5th, I should say 6th for Burns, 7th for Jackson, 5th is T-Lang, 4th still Balzer, 3rd is Steve Bonnell, 2nd for Cooper Hunt, and our leader Alexis Leclerc has checked in again out front. Let's see. He is going to probably make it back again. That actually would help Payson Johnson almost. If I'm talking to Leclerc right now, I would say run a 2:10. Lose the 20 seconds that you'll lose by doing that, but give Johnson one less lap, because if you lose 20 seconds, you still have a 20-second lead, and you have one less lap that Johnson can make passes. But I don't know. I guess if you're Leclerc, maybe just go win this thing and not worry about what's going on behind you. I don't think he tends to usually be in a discord with others. Another pass for 2nd. Steve Bonnell back into the 2 spot. Cooper Hunt just cannot hold it. So Hunt back to 3rd. Balzer right there in 4th. Lang has an outside shot at getting all the way to 2nd in this moto. There's Trevor Burns. There's Frank Jackson. And Johnson looks like he maybe went down again. Yeah, 58.6. He is nowhere close to the group of riders up ahead of him, which is honestly kind of a shame, because now they're all nose to tail. If he was on them, he'd have a shot to get all the way to 2nd, perhaps. Oh, Bonnell almost double whips at the top of the hill. And Cooper Hunt launching back down. Oh, Bonnell still just laying into these ruts, absolutely greasing them. There's Balzer. There's Lang. And this is Trevor Burns, who was behind Payson Johnson and is now on Tyler Lang for 5th, and really on the group that leads all the way up to 2nd. So Johnson's gotten around Frank Jackson, but is this now a case of too little too late? He's up to 7th. He would score 14 points in this moto to Leclerc's 25 and lose 11 points. It would go from 5 points to 16 points heading into the final moto. Let's see, did Leclerc... Yeah, Leclerc's already well past the finish line. He did not wait up, so 3 laps to go. We are past time, but 2nd place checking in is going to not see the 2-lap board. This is still 3 laps to go because Leclerc crossed out front well before the time had expired. That's how big his lead is. Talk about coming through in the clutch. Leclerc not being that strong in the last few weeks of racing is about to pull one of the most dominant moto wins of his career out of his behind to potentially seal this championship off for good. Definitely put it in a real tough situation for Johnson. Cooper Hunt and Balzer going at it for the 3 spot, still behind Steve Bonnell. The Impact 999 machine. Just kind of casually coming out of nowhere, he is running. Whose gear is he running? I guess it says Bonnell 3 on it, so running his own stuff, just the wrong number on the rear of the jersey. And there is Hunt, there is Lang, and there is Burns, and Balzer just went down. Johnson is 21 seconds back of those guys. He had to have crashed again, would be my guess. Frank Jackson 208. Johnson went 149.4 and is still 11 seconds, I guess, behind Balzer. Yeah, maybe, I guess not. Didn't crash. Just not gaining as much time as I thought with all that chaos. So now the 2-lap board is out as Leclerc checks in. His lead is only 37 seconds. And did Bonnell... No, Bonnell's still in second. 36 seconds back. There is Cooper Hunt. And here comes T-Lang trying to sneak up onto the podium late in this one. There's Balzer. There is Burns. And here comes Johnson. So Johnson can now start to see his teammate Burns. And maybe Burnsy with battling with Balzer up the road. But he's only going to have 2 laps to get any of these guys and try to get some points back in his favor. Otherwise, we are rolling into the final moto with a 16-point advantage for Alexis Leclerc. And this title fight that seemed to be so intense going into the finale ends up kind of being a bit more moot point. I mean, Johnson crucially won that second moto. Oh, Balzer down. Burns going to miss him, but that is a spot for Johnson as long as he doesn't hit him. Yeah, gonna go by there, so he's now up to 6th. And that's another point gain, getting 15 points this moto, losing 10. It'd be a 15-point deficit. And that was Burns down on the side of the track, and Balzer just went down again. Burns has to spin it around. So now Johnson's up to 5th. And that is 16 points this moto, now losing just 9 in this moto alone. And would see it balloon out to 14 points, but T-Lang not too far ahead of him. Cooper Hunt just went down in 3rd. So Steve Bonnell looks like he's well and truly on his way to a 2nd place finish here. What I'm really curious at is if Johnson gets Lang, does Cooper Hunt pull over being his teammate? We've seen it before in this game. It certainly would not be the first time, and I'm not accusing them of team tactics or anything. I'm just curious if it would happen. There's Lang sliding out. That is a huge plus for Johnson, who was kind of making a mistake all the way up the hill right there, but suddenly Lang is going to be right in front of him. White flag is out for race leader Alexis Leclerc, but Johnson might pull some magic on these final basically lap and a half and go from 7th to 4th before long, and maybe even 3rd. We will have to see how it all plays out. Lang is pushing, making mistakes. Cooper Hunt is kind of just hanging out here in the 3 spot. Nothing really doing just yet. So what happens in this battle? Hopping over the rut, Lang, little mistake. 30-second lead still for Leclerc, so he is in a comfortable position at the front of this thing, and it really is all the pressure on Johnson to perform and minimize this damage to give himself just that little bit better of a shot going into the final moto of the year. Who's down? That is Alex Heckman down. Oh, don't back into the rut. Johnson almost had to come to a stop, and that helps out Lang's case a little bit more. Johnson, another mistake, and Lang is inching away. Meanwhile, out front, unbeknownst to what's going on behind him, Alexis Leclerc has pulled his best moto win of his career perhaps out as he wins 450 Moto 1 to try to put a little bit of stamp of approval on this potential 5th championship. Steve Bonnell. Oh, Cooper Hunt's down. That might just help the case anyway. Johnson is all over Lang for 4th. So does Hunt just stand it up and let him go? Johnson launches past Lang. He's into 4th. And he crosses over. Another rider down. Lap traffic. Lang is fighting so hard to get back by Johnson, and he does. He gets right back by him. What does Cooper Hunt do? Cooper Hunt up the road. Does he let him go? Johnson down the inside. Into this inside rut. Got it pretty good. He's alongside Lang. Cooper Hunt is not going to let him go. Johnson does get Lang. Hunt doesn't let him go. Johnson gets all the way back to 4th in this moto. I'm really actually surprised that Hunt didn't let him go, as Johnson crosses in 4th. So if it stays as is, that is 18 points in this moto, 7 points lost. He would be 12 points back of Leclerc going into the final moto of the year. We will see if penalties change it. He was 2 seconds back of Hunt. He's only 0.7 of a second ahead of Lang. So he could lose a position. He could gain a position. We'll have to see how it shakes out. Of course, Leclerc has got this thing won and done. No question about it. So we got Lang finished in 5th, 6th for Balzer, 7th for Burns, 8th for Blakely, 9th was Jackson, 10th for Carter, 11th Eagland, and here's Rogers. He's about to cross the line in 12th. 13th for Holiak, yes. And Boardman 14th, 15th for Jared Gummison. Hillcroft trying to get him coming to the flag, so let's go back up to here because I want to see if the penalties change it. No, it stays the same. In fact, yeah, so Hunt did have cuts. He had 1 second of cuts. But Johnson does not get him. He remains 4th. It is 12 points. 12 points going into the final moto of the season. Wow. So 11 points in 250s, 12 points in 450s. Pretty crazy how this is all shaked down. So Leclerc with the win picks up another 25 points. He is now sitting on 451. And Johnson is 12 back going into the final moto. So now at the bottom of your screen, it should be all updated. And you guys will be able to see those point standings now. Leclerc 451, Johnson 12 back. And then Matherly 438, Shirley 11 back. 1 moto to go for both classes. Pretty crazy to see how this is all shaped up. And now we are about ready to crown a 250 motocross champion. It will be either Cade Matherly or Seth Shirley. Nobody else can win it but those two. And 11 points between them. So if Matherly finishes 7th or better in this moto, because 7th place would tie him on points no matter what Shirley does, Matherly is your champion. He has the tiebreaker, we believe, on overalls and moto wins on countback. Even if Shirley goes 1-1 here today, wins the overall and wins both motos, I think it is still going to go to Matherly. And then that's 7th place or better. So we'll see. We will see. And for Matherly, it would be his first ever professional MX Simulator title. He was so close in Supercross this year in that West Championship, was not able to get it, but has come back with a vengeance and is sitting on the doorstep of his first championship in professional MX Simulator competition right now. For Seth Shirley, he is your 250 East Supercross champion. So he already has tasted a bit of glory this year, but he would love to have a little bit more and put a number 1 plate on the mantle with it as well. It comes down to these final motos. 1 moto left for 250s, 1 moto left for 450s. We are going to be with you guys to bring it all the way home here on Start Your Systems and crown us some champions. Hope you folks are ready for this one because it is going to be good. See a quick question in chat from Owen Adams about why is it not 12 rounds this year? It is because the SMX playoffs in real life what ended up happening was Motocross eliminated one round of their championship, and Feld eliminated the Monster Cup from their repertoire of races. So they both lost one race and instead gained this 3-race SMX playoff thing that they're going to do in September, starting September 7th or 9th. Sorry, September 9th at ZMAX Dragway in Charlotte, and then going to Joliet, Illinois at Chicagoland Speedway, and ending at the LA Coliseum. So because of that, they eliminated one national. It is now just 11 rounds of pro motocross every year. Hence why we are on round 11 and about to crown some champions. Everything's been going pretty good, Sully. I think it's been a fun night of racing so far. It is about to get better for one of these two riders. Cade Matherly or Seth Shirley will be a champion in this 250 National Championship before the night is said and done. I think for the whole shot this time, I'm going to go with Tharp just to be a little bit off the wall. So I'll pick Studio 8 Whole Shot Award winner Braden Tharp this time, but we'll see who actually picks up that Studio 8 Whole Shot. Monster Cup went away because of COVID. So they had it planned for 2020. It was going to happen at Carson in Southern California. And it went away because of COVID. They didn't run it in 2021 because of planning for this SMX thing. So they signed the contract with TV rights, and they knew that was all set to go last year. But Monster Cup was going to continue. It wasn't going away. It just is now gone because of SMX existing. All right, here we go, folks. Let's crown a 250 national champion in MX Simulator. Will it be Cade Matherly or will it be Seth Shirley? 11 points separate them. Let's find out how it happens. 250 Moto 2 is off and running at Ironman. Well, Matherly got shuffled back into the first corner, and Shirley got off the gate really good. He's not going to get the whole shot. It's going to be Ethan Gerst by a nose picking up the Studio 8 whole shot. Alex Doyle takes the lead. Shirley is mixed up at the front. He is in 4th right now. As to the lead goes Braden Tharp. So I'm trying to see where the flash of the red for Matherly is. It looks like Shirley's trying to make quick work of Doyle to go into 2nd. Might have the lead at the top of the hill. Oh, Tharp is double whipping and landing almost off the track. Inside move, Seth Shirley to the lead. So Seth Shirley out in front. Tharp is trying to steal it back from him, but he almost goes into the tough blocks. He's going to stack it up, and a few guys will get hung up behind him. So as Shirley leads, let's figure out where Matherly is. A huge stack up of riders here at the bottom of the hill, and Matherly looks buried. I don't see the red plate. Where is the 25 machine? I think there he is now coming into view. He is right here in 26th place. He needs 7th. He needs 7th in this moto if Shirley were to win this championship. More and more riders go down. He's picking up some more positions. He's now 19th. I keep seeing you guys say red flag, but I don't see what it would be red flagged for in the chat. As Matherly goes down, he is now in 27th place. And that was just incidental riders down in the tunnel jump area. So Matherly has got to try to focus. What's going on in the lead? We got guys side by side over the finish line jump. All the way to the lead, it is Shirley versus Tharp. And remember, if Tharp can win this moto, that puts the math a little bit easier for Matherly. Because if Shirley finishes in 2nd, that's only 22 points. And 11 points back of that, of course, would be 11 points in this moto. 11 points in this moto is 10th place for Cade Matherly. So if Tharp wins, the math is easier for Matherly. Shirley has to win this moto. Oh, Tharp down. So that helps out Seth Shirley as Gerst goes up into 2nd. Doyle might take it from him. So usually what happens, I see you guys talking about this, if somebody punted Cade Matherly and it negatively affects the championship in the end, that person almost certainly will be sitting out of Supercross next year. That is how they punish people at the finale for interfering with the championship. If you do it earlier in the season, of course, they will just suspend you for X amount of races during the championship. And you think, oh, well, there's no penalty to pay for punting someone at the last round because there's no more races left. No, they will just sit you for all of Supercross next year. I've seen it many, many times. So someone punting Matherly and trying to help Shirley win this title is only making it so they will not be on the gate next season. Where is Matherly now? We got to go back and find him. What? 37th. So 37th place for Cade now. I'm not sure what's happened. He is the last rider circulating. Jace Williams, Jake Kazarian did not start this moto. Neither did somebody else, but now Matherly is going to go around McIntosh up to 36th. So this is really interesting. Kind of unfortunate if it is those punts. Yeah, no. Just buy a new key. You guys are so stupid. They VPN check you. It's so easy to do in Sim. And people who have bought multiple accounts get tossed aside all the time. So Matherly now 36th. Let's see where he would have to get to. So 7th place with Shirley winning is what he needs. 7th place is on Godzilla right now. It is Alex Doyle. So you do a little bit of math right now. Shirley is about, let's give it 25 seconds behind Doyle right now. If he doesn't crash the rest of this race, there's ample opportunity he gets here just on his speed alone. He is talented enough to get to this position. You see him going the other way on the track right there. He's got to get through all of these riders. And now I'm keen to see as Cade comes through the field who is messing with him and why. 36th. I mean, it really is a shame that people are deciding to try to take the matters into their own hands. Like, I get it. Maybe teammates are surely you're trying to help him out, but you don't need to punt him. Like, you can push him out of a rut, whatever, but punting is just so stupid. Yeah, I have nothing to do with the race control. It is all up to race direction on whether or not they would red flag this, which normally they wouldn't. I've seen many a times championships take shape like this in the past. It's an unfortunate side of MX Simulator. Matherly now up into 32nd, and he has a freight train in front of him. Got to be really methodical here. I mean, the good news is he has time on his side. He's going to go to 30th now. He's got 24 minutes plus 2 laps to play with. And there's plenty of time for things to kind of work themselves out. 53.8, very solid lap time. And yeah, as Saru pointed out in chat, if you remember back to Supercross, Seth Shirley was in a position to try to, I think, even clinch the title around earlier, was close enough to it. And you had fake Justin Cooper, whoever's riding for Justin Cooper and has Justin Cooper's UID and account, rode for him and was messing with Seth Shirley. And Rush Chapman rode on Grant Harlan's account. Grant Harlan was sitting next to Rush Chapman. That's what he told me. And Rush rode for him and was taking out and messing with Seth Shirley while trying to battle at the front of the field at, I don't remember where that was actually. I'm trying to remember. But Shirley's been through the gamut of this as well, where people have gone out of their way to try to ruin his championship. And I'm not saying it makes it fair for Matherly. It totally doesn't. But it's just the unfortunate side of this game that we see this happen all the time. So now up into 25th, and he is doing this really smartly. He is not forcing the issue. He is letting the passes come as they come and just running the smooth lap times that he can, not forcing the issue, not trying to do something stupid. Because if he crashes, he affords himself No chance at this. So Tucker Zimmerman, UNC House, goes down, so he is not going to affect that. So Jace Williams and Joey Rico are the potential problems. Let's see where they are. Not even in a situation where he would have to pass them. So now would have to just go through the field from here. He's up to 25th, a 54.7, still better than pretty much a lot of these guys ahead of him. And you also have to factor in that a lot of these guys are going to crash. Crashes will start to come. And 7th place is Niles, jumping back down the hill off of Godzilla. And Matherly is already, I mean, in terms of on the track location, he is making up quite a bit of time already, I believe. I'm trying to see. Yeah, so he's going up Godzilla right now. And you remember earlier on, 7th was here, and Matherly was coming down that straightaway going up there. So he is definitely gaining quite a bit of time on where he needs to get to already. We'll go back to him. I apologize that this maybe isn't the most aesthetically pleasing thing to watch, but I'm trying to keep an eye on the championship picture more than anything, which is why we're not looking at the cameras right now. So next up, Bodie Parker, Sonny Spicer, Brandon Nygren is what Matherly would have to get through. And as a reminder, Matherly needs to get to 7th if Seth Shirley wins this moto to still win the championship. And the way things are going for him right now, it is definitely not impossible. He is doing all the right things to get there. More riders have gone down in front of him. He's got Tyler Nichols still just right behind him. Very cool head for Matherly. And for those of you that don't know, Matherly was a pretty highly touted real-life amateur. That's how he met Jet Lawrence, who he's had in some of his videos. And they've raced each other. They raced Tyson Johnson, who's another guy that Jet Lawrence is fairly close with. And so Matherly, being a little bit more experienced in terms of racecraft and all that stuff, is probably going to be a little bit more level-headed than some of the other guys that would end up in this situation. And he's now up to 22nd, 53.5. Nygren shuts the door there and backs out of the challenge. Try the outside right here on Nerona. Nerona covers the inside here, but Matherly swoops wide, very tight on landing, but into 20th now. Oh, careful, careful. Riders down, front end tuck. Gonna lose a couple positions. So 24th place now, but look at this absolute chaos in front of him. I mean, this is now not what he wants, and he's got another fast rider in Hayden Stevenson back here with him. So Stevenson also trying to work forward. So Tyler Nichols, Bodie Parker, Sonny Spicer, Evan Holt, Jack Gatlin, Ben Nerona, Logan Leitzel. This group has 5 guys that finished in the top 10 in the first moto, and he's down. He's into Bodie Parker. And this has really come unglued now because he still needs to get to 7th, and he's losing time by the bucketfuls with these crashes. All right, so J.R. Reyes goes by. Ryan Chowsey, Logan Leitzel still struggling back here. Brett Powers, Race Cobble, Hayden Stevenson, Tyler Nichols, Evan Holt, Sonny Spicer, Ben Nerona, Brandon Nygren, Alex Doyle, Evan Vanderkoy, Lucas Bruin, Christopher McPherson, Talon Zollers, Austin Partolo, Austin Schaefer, Jeremy Siebold, and Nick Niles, well, now Caden Speck, are all the guys he would need to get through. And suddenly, where he was on the racetrack compared to those guys has completely changed. All that time that he made up in the first 12 minutes of this race has gone completely down the tube. And it's not about catching this man. Seth Shirley is long gone at the front of the field. He is going to go 1-1 here today and try to steal this title away. And nothing, this isn't on him. He has not done anything to Cade Matherly in this sense. He has just gotten the early lead and pulled away in both motos and left the onus on Matherly to do the dirty work, which Matherly did the job in the first moto. He came from a little ways back. He fought with a lot of those faster guys. And because of it, oh my gosh, what a save by Shirley. But because of it, Matherly finished second in that first moto and afforded him the opportunity to only need to finish 7th in the second moto. And you think only 7th, it's Cade Matherly. He's so good. Of course he'll finish 7th. But now we're seeing just how hard it is to get through the field from back there in this game. It's not as simple as I'm one of the fastest riders on the track, I'm just going to pass a bunch of people. They race you hard. Sometimes they'll race you unfair. I mean, I see you guys yelling for the red flag in chat, and like I said, I've played this game for 13 years. I've raced in it for 6. I have never once seen a red flag for takeouts. But I have seen riders and people permanently banned or banned for full seasons for ruining championships. So it's really just that people are terrible, unfortunately. And you would bet in real life if, you know, this 250 championship, for example, if someone came up this weekend and purposely went 5th wide into the side of Hunter Lawrence and snapped his femur, that person would probably never, ever race again. And that's usually what RaceFactory tries to do with competitors that do that in this game. But that's really all you can do. You can't red flag the race. You can't say Hunter Lawrence got T-bone, throw a red flag. That's not going to happen. Down the inside, trying to get Brett Powers. Not able to complete that pass. Evan Holt still behind him. So Race Cobble, Christopher McPherson. He's got a train of guys still right in front of him. And 7th is Niles at the front of this train here. So actually, he's not that far behind 7th. In fact, the end of this straightaway is where 7th place is. We still have half this moto to go. So this is not over yet. Do not write this off for Matherly. Ooh, rider down. That was Cobble. So Matherly up to 20th. Rider is getting sideways. That was Powers, man. All these guys in front of Matherly, to their credit, are riding really good. I've not seen riders in like 20th place be this solid and consistent for a while, because Matherly's putting 154s down, 153s, just hitting his marks, and these guys are just doing their business. So Matherly's going to try to change up his line and make this pass on Powers. He's alongside of him. He's going to have to go to the outside here, which he's fine with. He's been taking this outside, and will get the pass. McPherson will just funnel in right behind him just to make sure he secures the pass on Powers. Up to 19th. Seth Shirley, by the way, just hit the finish line jump. That just goes to show how massive his lead is right now. Look at Matherly down the inside of McPherson. Not quite close enough. Gonna try this outside entry. Turns to the inside here. He will get to the inside, but Nygren kind of blocked his forward momentum. So this time he's going to swing to the outside here. Let's see if he gets the drive on McPherson. Gets that rear tire planted. Scrubs. Little short. He's going to have to go to the outside here, so it's not going to work. Don't lose that other spot. Oh, he still almost got McPherson. Pretty good move right there. But look at how aggressive these guys are riding to hold this position. I mean, I get it, you're in your own race, but shoo, they are working. Rider down right here. Oh, don't get into the side of McPherson as Holt's been closing up on Matherly. I mean, Matherly, heart and mouth moment right now, is trying his very best not to get taken out while trying to pass these guys. Gonna go to this middle rut right here. Might get 2 spots for 1, and does, and he crosses over hard on McPherson. And rider down, that's Nygren, so he's going to get that spot. McPherson might get him back down the straightaway, though. Matherly is trying to force the issue. McPherson is trying to block the line, and finally someone comes flying in from the back. Who is that? That is a rider 2 laps down. That's Marley Spink coming out of nowhere, just getting into the fray. If I were Tyler Lang right now, the black flag would have already waved at this rider who is 216 seconds behind everybody else and just causing havoc at this point. But he did not necessarily put Matherly down. Matherly is 20th, still behind McPherson. Holt did go by. I mean, the front of the pack is so spread out. It's amazing how close everyone is still right in front of Matherly here. And he's going to throw dualies with McPherson. Let's see if he can get the pass done. Going to have to go all the way to the outside, and McPherson inside here. So Holt now working on Powers. Powers, to his credit, has done a really good job of just racing forward with all the pressure from behind. So where is 7th now? Let's see. 7th exiting the tunnel. Matherly is still about 15 seconds behind that. Look, I'll show you guys real quick where he's trying to get to. So Niles in 6th here. Would be awesome if he gets to that. There is 7th, 8th, 9th. There is 10th. That's Caden Speck right there. There is 11th, trying to see, is that Zollers? 12th, Stevenson 13th, 14th, that's Vanderkoy, 15th is Gatlin, 16th is Partolo, 17th is Powers, 18th for Holt, and 19th right there is Cade Matherly. That's where he needed to get to, was that position we started with, and that's how far back he is with 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. So Matherly trying to settle it back down. 55.7. Holt, Powers, all going slower than him. Gatlin, Vanderkoy. He's going faster all the way up to 11th right now. And going faster than everybody except Doyle all the way to the positions he needs. Austin Schaefer up here. You got Emmanuel Cepeda in 5th. Cash Woods in the loneliest 4th place he'll ever have, I'm sure. Dylan Cavicciuti in 3rd, 8 seconds back of Braden Tharp, who is 32 seconds off our leader, Seth Surley, who is, as I said, doing everything right in this situation. Let's go back and see what the case is with Matherly. He is now 17th. He needs 10 positions to win this championship. 10 minutes, 10 positions. And he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them right in front of him. And I mean right in front of him, too. What I'm really surprised with this group, to be honest, at this point, is there hasn't been more crashing. And as I say that, Evan Holt goes off the track and slides out. So now 16th for Matherly. Oh, rider down. That is Gatlin. That's another position. He's now 15th. Again, I apologize. This maybe isn't the funnest thing to watch, just watching Cade Matherly, but this is how I feel it is best to keep an eye on where he is and what the gaps are, because I can see the pit board and then I can continue to look ahead of him to see if anyone's going down or what the situation is. So next up, Partolo. Trying to get him as Partolo stays to the left side of the racetrack. Partolo, did he just let him go? I don't know, but Matherly is going to scrub by him. He is now 14th. 7 positions. He's got 8 minutes plus 2 laps, and he needs 7 positions. Brune, Siebold, Niles, Doyle, Zollers, Stevenson, and then Speck and Schaefer battling each other with Cepeda. He honestly probably needs these two to crash, or one of them at least. And yeah, Shirley also not far from lapping Matherly is another thing to consider. Matherly, Shirley's got to get through quite a bit of lappers to get to Matherly, so I don't necessarily know about that. But Speck now 6th, and Schaefer is the bubble point for Cade Matherly, and there is a group of riders ahead of him. As a reminder, if he gets to 8th, he loses the championship by 1 point. Unbelievably so. He would pick up 13 points in the moto. I think he started on, 438. So right now, Seth Shirley, who was on 427 points, getting another 25 in this moto, would end the championship on 452 points as it runs right now. Cade Matherly, in 14th place at the moment, is picking up 7 points as it runs, and he would go from 438 to 445. He would finish 7 back. 7 points back of Seth Shirley in this championship. So Brune, Niles, Zollers, Siebold, Doyle all battling each other, but somehow not getting collected necessarily with each other. Oh, Cepeda was down. That is going to benefit Matherly. 6 minutes left to go in this race. And he's down again. That is going to be a huge help because Stevenson will become the bubble point. There is Stevenson, Cepeda, Doyle went by. There's Zollers, Niles, Brune, and there is Matherly. Matherly literally almost passed Emmanuel Cepeda. He's about 4 seconds back of him, and that was the bubble point. So this is now the bubble point. He needs to get to 7th, and he has caught the tail end of this group. So that is him going the other way at the top of the hill right there. We'll try to see in the switchbacks again as we look at Stevenson coming into the corner here. So you got Stevenson and Doyle. And then there's that train. There's Matherly coming in just in front of Godzilla at the bottom of the hill. He is 2 corners behind where he needs to get to win this championship. So against all odds and almost he's 3 corners away from being lapped, he might somehow pull this off. There going the other way down that hill is the position he needs. Rider down, that was Niles. Matherly now 13th on Lucas Brune for 12th. Oh, rear end slip. He's going to land a little bit hard right there, but saves it. Oh, going sideways off the track is Zollers. Let's see if he lets Matherly go. He does not. So he gets back on in front of him. Got to be careful with those track reentries as well. They could be deemed unsafe, and then that person would receive a penalty. Matherly has got Evan Holt behind him, and I mean, Holt's been riding so good, but Matherly is normally better than that. He is just being so cautious in this situation. Alongside Zollers at the finish line jump. 55.4. He is going faster than all these guys. Scrubs it down hard, trying to get to the inside of Zollers into this. After the mechanics area, Zollers shuts the door super hard. Almost gets into the back of Brune. And this is not helping. This is sparsing the field a little bit more because they're going slower. So Stevenson, oh, that is Doyle down out of 8th. As Siebold goes by, let's see if these guys miss him. Oh, Matherly's down with Zollers after Zollers for so long was blocking the line very harshly. He crashes in front of him, and Matherly has nowhere to go. So Matherly slips back to 15th. Niles, Zollers, Doyle, Holt, Brune, Cepeda, Siebold, and this is Stevenson. That is the spot he needs. But Speck and Schaefer are battling each other. Cashwood's not too far in front of them. Speck down. Schaefer hung up. And Speck is now going to get passed by Stevenson. So this is the bubble point. As Siebold now is catching up to the tail end of Speck. And as all these guys continue to battle each other, it's only going to help the potential for Matherly to even get there. And Zollers goes down, so finally Matherly clears him. Rider down in transit. A lot of guys down. This is several positions right here for Matherly. And he's going to squeeze the gap. He's going to end up off the track. Zollers is fighting back, trying to get into 10th place back around Matherly. But Matherly now into 10th if he completes the pass on Zollers, and he will. So he's up to 10th. Holt 9th, Siebold 8th, Speck 7th, Stevenson 6th, Schaefer 5th, and Cashwoods is 4th. If 3 of these guys go down and get Matherly into picture, that would be the championship. So he is, let's see, 3.1, 9.4, and 3.7. He is about 13 seconds back of the position he needs. And if he did not have that crash, he'd be 3 seconds back. Oh, you hate to see it. So Seth Shirley is now in the tail end of this lapper train that was... So Matherly is going the other way just in front of him right there on the track. But Shirley's now weaving through all of these lappers. And I think Shirley will get back to the flag again as long as he doesn't crash to make it an extra lap, which of course helps Matherly. I don't know if Shirley knows that. Oh, spec down. That is 6th down. He is now going to be 7th. And he's going to pick it up in 8th and go backwards right in front of Holt. So here's Holt, here's Matherly. So 9th and 8th are now right in front of Cade Matherly. 7th is Siebold. And then 6th, Stevenson. Matherly, that is Siebold going the other way in front of him. He has gained pretty much all that time back that he lost in terms of the 7th place position that he needs. He's got nobody right behind him anymore. But I'm going to be keen to see if Shirley makes it back to the flag. And this battle will commence now between Speck and Holt. I think if you're Matherly, unfortunately, now caution has to go out the window. You either need Siebold or Stevenson to crash, or you have to start outright catching them. There is no time to waste anymore. And you might have 3 laps to go this time by, or maybe 4. Let's go back up to Shirley. Let's see, we're going to be at 30 seconds to go right now. It's going to be so tight whether he gets a 2-lap card or 3 to go right here. I think it's going to end up being 2 to go. 15 seconds. I think he might even wait if he gets there. Yeah, now down to 10. It is going to be 2 to go this time by for Seth Shirley out front. 3, 2, 1, time. And 2-lap board will be out. He missed it by 4 seconds to give Matherly an extra lap, and he did a 2:01.8, so I don't know if he slowed down on purpose, but if he did a normal lap time, he would have made it back. So Matherly is now 9th. He's got to get this guy right here, and going the other way is Matherly at the top of the hill. He would lose the championship by 2 points right now as it runs. Stevenson on or almost up to Schaefer. So that could potentially be a battle that helps. And then Evan Holt also playing a little bit of spoiler. So it's 3 to go right now for Matherly. It's really 2.5 to go, I should say. He's going to see 2 laps to go this next time by. Gaps are tightening, and Siebold just slid out. Holt is going to be right behind him. And suddenly Matherly is within striking distance of this 7th place. Riders down. Who's down? Lapper off the side of the track. But he sees 7th in front of him. That is Siebold and Holt battling for 7th place right in front of Cade Matherly. Matherly has climbed all the way back to 9th and might steal this title as they're going to get 2 laps to go this time by. Holt side by side with Siebold. In a battle for 7th place. We can go back to these cams now to really watch this. Oh, this is going to be heart-stopping 2 laps right now for Cade Matherly. Heart rate has got to be spiked. This is the position he needs right here. Jeremy Siebold, a multi-time champion. Holt slides out. There goes Matherly. He's into 8th. He needs 1 position to win this title. He's got 2 laps to get it as the white flag has waved behind him. Seth Shirley is 2 corners behind him, could lap him, but Matherly is all eyes focused ahead trying to get to Jeremy Siebold and win this championship. Siebold at the top of the hill is kind of slowing a little bit. He's going wide. Cade Matherly down the inside is going to move into 7th place. That is a championship ceiling pass if it stays as is. Siebold let him go. And Stevenson's down. That's 6th. Matherly into 6th place with 2 laps to go. He's got to keep it on 2 wheels. He can't let these guys get back by him, but he's in a championship situation now. They have thrown everything at him in this moto, and he's finally ascended the mountain back into position. Sixth place for Cade Matherly. He would win the title by 1 point as it runs. Yellow flag's waving, but I believe that is still the rider off the track. Cashwood's up ahead. Seabolt's side by side with Stevenson. And as they battle, it's pushing them back a little ways because they're battling each other instead of closing on Matherly, who has 6. So he's got to survive one more lap. One thing that is in his favor is so many people are going to be lapped by Seth Shirley. So Shirley over the top of that jump, he's 40 seconds in the lead. And Matherly in 6th has got to hold off Stevenson, and then Caden Speck is charging. Jeremy Seabolt has Evan Holt closing up. Oh, Matherly hard in mouth. Meanwhile, final 2 corners, man, he did absolutely everything he could do today. He's led so many laps. He almost hole shot both motos. He's going to go 1-1. Seth Shirley completes the sweep. He wins the Ironman National when he needed it the most. But what will happen behind him? Tharp 2nd, Cavachudi 3rd, Schaefer 4th, Woods 5th, Matherly in 6th. We got to keep eyes on him. It is coming down to the nitty-gritty on this final lap. He has to stay on 2 wheels because Stevenson and now Caden Speck has passed Hayden Stevenson. They are pushing up to Matherly. Oh boy, what is about to happen right now with Caden Speck? He's on the move. Little mistake. Matherly just has to try to keep focusing ahead and not worry about these guys closing up on him. Oh man, the rear end caught coming out of that corner. Caden Speck is closed on him. Caden Speck is going to pass him. Matherly back to 7th. Stevenson and Holt battling for 8th spot behind Cade Matherly, who is still tied for the championship lead and we think gets it on tiebreaker. Stevenson down, Holt down. That should give Matherly the points and the advantage he needs. So Caden Speck passed him. Matherly has to survive 2 more corners. 4th has crossed the line. 5th has crossed the line. Cashwoods is over. Caden Speck is going to get 6th. Cade Matherly is going to tie for the championship, but we believe it will seal it as Matherly crosses the line to win the 2023 250 National Championship. In 7th place, we will have to wait for penalties to seal it. 2.3 seconds back to Holt. Oh my God, what did we just watch? They will tie. It is going to be 452 points even. Penalties are in. They both get 452 points. We need to know the tiebreakers. So Matherly seals 7th as Shirley takes the win. And we're just getting official confirmation to make sure. But they have tied on points. So Shirley unofficially lands the season on 452 points. As he picks up another 25, goes from 427 out to 452. But Cade Matherly picks up another 14 points after landing on 438 in the first moto. He would also land on 452 points. And Tyler Lang letting me know he believes it is Cade Matherly with the tiebreaker. And we will run with that as official. Cade Matherly, your 2023 250 National Champion. Unbelievable. Holy smokes, that comeback. And he got just as many positions as he needed. One more crash, one more mistake. Oh, I'm lost for words watching that one. That was intense. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy smokes. Well, let's give you guys who finished where in this race. Seth Shirley, Tharp, and Cavaciuti was the top three. Schaefer 4th, Cashwoods 5th, Speck 6th, Matherly with a title-clinching 7th, Holt 8th, Seabolt 9th, Gatlin rounds out our top 10, 11th for Doyle, 12th Stevenson, 13th Niles, 14th Partolo, 15th for Brune, 16th was Parker, 17th Vanderkoy, 18th for Spicer, 19th for Horn, and 20th was Emmanuel Cepeda. And trying to see if we get anything in chat. Not seeing anything coming through, but wow, shout out Chucky Nygren for the $5, says awesome race. Thanks so much for that. I really appreciate that support there. Holy smokes, I cannot believe that race. And I don't think the server can even believe that race. They're just all sitting in disbelief. Oh my gosh. Woo! What a race. Unbelievable. Yeah, so at the end of the stream, I'll stay on a little bit later tonight. We'll go back and see what happened at the beginning of that moto. I do have demos saved, so we can go back and see what happened to Matherly, but we still have to roll into 450 Moto 2, which is about to restart and go into that. We have got a champion to crown in that as well. And let me change it to this real quick. You want an interview, Cade? We could do an interview. I'm down. I don't know if we have time before this 450 race starts. Trying to just fix all this stuff. I got so much stuff coming in at the same time here. And honestly, my hands are shaking from that moto. I don't know what Cade's Discord is. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay. While we do that, let's set up for this 450 race. And see where we're at. Well, Cade wants to do an interview, so we'll do an interview. Why not? Okay, we can do it after 450. Let's wait for that, because there's so much stuff going on. So we'll interview Cade Matherly, the champ, and let him soak up the glory of this championship. But we got to crown a 450 champion here in a few moments. So coming in, as you see on your screen, 12 points back is Payson Johnson on Alexis Leclerc. Whew. Holy smokes. And to be fair, I mean, I don't see if Seth Surley is in here or not, but just trying to keep up with stuff going on in chat. But Chucky Nygren, $5 says awesome race. Brandon Nygren also says that ending was insane, $5. Zachary tipped $20, says GG's. Holy smokes, that was unbelievable. So we'll interview Cade Matherly after this 450 moto. I'm still trying to catch my breath. I'm like, literally, I'm looking at my hand right now, and it's shaking right now. Crazy stuff. I will come back into studio just for a minute, though, because shout out my wife. Final stream of the year, she brought Jack in the Box. So we'll have some tacos and interview Cade Matherly here in just a little bit. Whew! Still catching my breath. All right, are we ready to crown a 450 champion, or are we ready to clown someone? I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Oh, my goodness. All right, Alexis Leclerc looking for his 5th 5th championship in the 450 class. And Payson Johnson looking to repeat. Put Kate in the 450 moto. I think this moto's full still. Hard to believe this late in the season, but I think it is. All right, 12 points in it. So Leclerc, who does not have the tiebreaker, unlike Matherly, has the same job to do. If he finishes 8th and Johnson wins, they would tie, but Johnson has the tiebreaker. In this case, Leclerc would need to finish 7th, no matter what Johnson does, to win this championship. And we'll see if he can get it done. We are just about set to drop the gate on 450 Moto number 2. Payson Johnson, Alexis Leclerc. One of them will be the champion. And if it's anything like what we just saw in the 250 class, holy smokes, are we about to be in for something. I think it's by overalls for the tiebreaker. Don't quote me on that, but I think either way, overalls and moto wins, Johnson has the nod. I think Johnson has won 5 of the Nationals, and Leclerc has only won 3, because Lang won 1, Eagland won 1, I think 2, right? And didn't Hunt win 1? So here we go. Alexis Leclerc needs 7th to win this championship. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Final race of the year at Ironman is off and running. Into the first turn is Hubbard again. Let's see if he goes straight on and disconnects. Studio 8 hole shot goes to Jacob Hubbard. This time he'll stay on the track and he'll lead him through. Thomas with a good start. Leclerc is up here with Carter. Johnson alongside Leclerc. Let's see if there's any weird playback here. The 7 and the 1 are side by side. And Johnson is just going to pass him, cross over a little bit. Little maneuver there as they go up Godzilla together. Johnson lays it bat sideways right there, but Leclerc is just going to follow him in. So they are in 4th and 5th, it looks like, with Hubbard in the lead. Oh, Johnson down. Johnson down on the outside. I did not see if there was contact involved, but he is down. And that really is going to put a hamper on his chances. It has just not been his day. Big scrub here in the middle. Let's see where he is now. He's 16th. Is that Leclerc? No, it's Carter. Saw Phil's bike. And Johnson stacked up on Devin Davis there on the inside. Loses 3 or 4 more positions. Look at this 4 wide coming out of this valley in the back. And Johnson, just trying to not get taken out, goes off the track. And a couple more riders down. Johnson just sending it, throwing caution to the wind. I think for Johnson, it's more about proving a point in this moto. You might not, look at this tripling out to flat right there. You might not win the championship, but if you can work your way through everybody, including Leclerc, and take the overall, that is icing on the cake. As we go back to the front, and Hubbard will indeed lead lap number 1. But Leclerc is already in 2nd, and the 7 is going to take the lead because Hubbard goes down. Thomas in a dogfight for 2nd place right now. It's Castellaneta and seals the deal off. Lang is up here. Cooper Hunt is up here. And Lang is going to go into 2nd place. Hunt is maybe going to go into 3rd. Yes, gets around Thomas. So Castellaneta still trying to figure out his way by. Lang crosses up with Hunt, and Lang goes down. No, he saved it! Oh, he just did like a spinning 720 and landed perfectly back on his wheels. As Cooper Hunt tripled over top of him. So now Hunt, just like in the first moto, is Payson Johnson's best friend. If he can go get Leclerc, just try against all odds to make it harder for Leclerc to maintain a position inside the top 7. Leclerc, Hunt. 1-2 in this race. Hunt inside, looked for it. Leclerc hops that inside roller beautifully, but Hunt, honestly, that outside line looked even faster. Let's see, does he go for the hop over line? He does, and it will be the race lead. Yes, it will. He passes Leclerc, crosses over the line. Cooper Hunt, your new leader here at Ironman. So Leclerc second, Thomas Sunis third, Castellaneta fourth, Liam Atkinson fifth, Frank Jackson sixth, Tyler Lang seventh, Jason Stubbs eighth, and then Payson Johnson in ninth. So that is the freight train 1 through 9 right there. Johnson at the tail end of it. But Leclerc, honestly, if he crashes right here, would be in a really bad spot. He'd get up behind Johnson and behind a lot of fast dudes. So really the onus is on him not to fall and put himself at a disadvantage. There's still ample chance that things get weird in this class, especially with the talent at the front of this field right now. Cooper Hunt, Tyler Lang, I mean, Castellaneta's no slouch. Frank Jackson's up here. You also got, of course, Johnson at the tail end of this group. Leclerc, oh, Hunt down. And Leclerc honestly almost went down as well. He swapped sideways. So here goes all these guys. Johnson now goes by his teammate into 8th. Now on Lang, and Leclerc retakes the race lead. So Leclerc leads the field through the switchbacks. He's got Castellaneta, then Atkinson, Jackson, Thomas Sunis, and then Johnson, who just puts the block pass up on Lang to move into 6th. Johnson is flying right now. I'd be curious if Johnson does the bunching technique if he gets into the lead with how stacked up this front group is. He runs into the back of Thomas Sunis and does not fall down. And around the outside will stay ahead of T-Lang. Over that hump, really smooth. Johnson honestly looks better in this moto than he did in the first. And I wonder if he's kicking himself that he didn't have this type of flow in the first one, because he maybe could have made more passes. But he's only a straightaway behind Leclerc. He's trying to get on Frank Jackson here. Going to get by Thomas Sunis. Thomas Sunis now dealing with Lang. And, oh, Johnson wanted to do something with Frank Jackson right there, but kind of backed out. Oh, Johnson tripling to the outside on Frank Jackson to ride her down. That is Liam. So Johnson to the inside, going to make that pass. He's now up to 3rd. So it is Leclerc, Castellaneta, Johnson. And now Johnson is trying to close up onto the rear tire there of Castellaneta. See if he can't get around him. And would move into 2nd place, just doing whatever he possibly can do. Outside line for Johnson. Yeah, I see you guys talking about the Shirley tiebreaker thing in chat. I don't have the ability to really look at what you guys are talking about as Castellaneta goes down. But I do know that as much as these guys try to run it close to the real series, I don't know that they use the MX Sports rulebook necessarily to determine that. So this is all up to what Tyler Lang decrees, basically, and what the rules are that he's going to run off of. There is a rule book that RaceFactory has had. I don't know where it is or what the rules are in it, but we'll see. It's up to Lang, and Lang is out there racing this moto. So after this is over, I guess we've got to figure out who got the tiebreaker, because I think Matherly has more overall wins, but as you guys are saying, Shirley has more moto wins. So Leclerc versus Johnson is now the battle for the lead that we are going to be watching here. Well, like I said, you guys say stick to the RF rulebook. Does anybody have it? Hold up. Go ahead. I promise you there are rules different in there than what MX Sports does. I don't know about the tiebreaker rule. So this battle for the lead is about to commence as Johnson has caught all the way up to Leclerc. Leclerc does not need to win this moto. All right, so we will talk to Tyler Lang after this race and figure out what the deal is because we need to officially crown a 250 champion. Outside line for Johnson alongside Leclerc up Godzilla. Not quite able to get it just yet. Leclerc blocks the inside line. They jump all the way back down off the top of the hill. Oh, man, Johnson. I mean, kudos to them. They're actually having a pretty good, clean battle right now. Johnson not really forcing it too much with Leclerc. Oh, dualies. Inside line, Johnson might get it. Oh, a little bit of love there, too. So he definitely did slow down to kind of block across Leclerc's line, and he is definitely slowing down. Wait a minute. We have got games going on here in the 450 class. The closest next rider is Eaglin, about 11 seconds back. But Johnson might be trying to do the bunching technique. Outside to in. He gets together with Leclerc. How did they not crash? And Johnson gives him a little love nudge to the outside. Leclerc goes down. Not off the bike, though. So Johnson now our new race leader, but he is definitely not pushing in the lead. And he is certainly slowing down. The bunching technique that we saw Eli Tomac use in 2017 in Supercross is commencing. Look at Johnson. Let Leclerc go back by. So Eaglin, Lang, Bonnell, Jackson, Hunt are right here. Leclerc needs to be behind Carter to lose this championship, as the current situation is, at least. So let's see. If Johnson goes back by him, what does he do? Does he block again? Does he take him out? What does he do? Just racing him pretty fair when he's actually right behind him. He's not punting him. Not sending it late and trying to make an aggressive pass. He's just passed him and then stopped in front of him. Dualies again. Johnson follows him into the corner. Leclerc. I mean, if you're Leclerc, all you do here is race forward. You don't think about the fact that Johnson's trying to play his games. You just race him straight up, and then when he passes you, try to figure out how to get back around him. Crossover, and Leclerc takes Johnson down with a cross jump. So the games are brought back into the face of Payson Johnson, and now, instead of doing that, he has to catch Leclerc again, and that is going to allow this entire group to spread out. And Frank Jackson is 8th, which is where Leclerc would need to finish, and he is, let's see, about 27 seconds or so behind. Quick maths. Leclerc, Eagland, and Johnson. Now, does Johnson start laying down God laps? 46.4, unbelievable time. 49.7 is what Leclerc is putting down. Johnson is 8 seconds back. If he does 46.4s, he would be on Leclerc in 2.5 laps. Look at Johnson tripling out into those rollers. Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to interview Seth and Cade about this whole thing, but we definitely need clarification, and the only man who can give it to us, well, the only two people that can give it to us, one of them is racing, and one of them has not been here all year. So I don't know what we can do about getting an answer before this moto's done, but after this moto's done, we'll figure out who is the 250 champion. Right now, Johnson trying to close back up to Eagland. Eagland is closing on Leclerc. Leclerc almost just landed off the track. Eagland's doing 48, so kudos to him. He's definitely flying right now. And you can see Leclerc just up the road. But again, you need, if you're Johnson, Leclerc to finish 8th. And 8th is pretty far back. We'll just say that. So as we approach the halfway point of this moto, Leclerc would win the title right now by 17 points if it finished like this. Oh, a little slide out for Johnson, but immediately picks it up and only lost 0.8 of a second. Pretty crazy right there. .47 flat, Eagland down. That is not actually going to help Johnson, because though he does go into second place, he needs Eagland and he needs other riders to be closer to Leclerc to help him. Oh my gosh, that was dirty how much he laid over at the top of Godzilla. Leclerc is now 4 seconds ahead of Johnson, and we're about to see ding, 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 round 2 of what the heck is about to happen between those guys. Bonnell has gotten around Eagland. He is now in 3rd, and he is having one hell of a day. So Hunt, Lang, Jackson, Carter, this train all the way back to 8th, which is where Leclerc would need to finish. So Johnson needs 3 crashes out of Leclerc, or apparently to bunch him up for 27 seconds. Inside move for Leclerc, hooking that rut very nicely. Kudos to Leclerc, man. 49's consistently at the front of this field. .48.8 out of Johnson last time by. He is pushing. He just laid so hard into that rut. Gonna catch him, that's for sure. What will happen when he catches him? It's anybody's guess at this point, surely. And I don't mean Seth. All right, there's Leclerc, there's Johnson, there is the lapped rider of 808, aka Bob. Nah, it's Connor Pruitt, I'm kidding. Coming at you from dadtom.com. All right, here we go. Round 2 of the battle for the lead. This time, does Johnson just pass him and go? Or at least try to at least? Or do we have more bunching technique coming up? Rider down on the outside right there, but not, of course, Leclerc. So we have got only 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes plus 2 laps. Johnson triples to the outside, but jumps off the track. Swings back to the inside, trying to get alongside Leclerc. Not able to get him just yet. Only doubles in here and still not by. He's going to be alongside of him at the top of Godzilla. Dualies. Oh, Johnson is just throwing huge ones. Honestly, doesn't look like he's trying all that hard, and there it is. Forces the issue, cuts across. Leclerc has to jam on the brakes. Now he stops, completely dead stop in the corner, and he is totally playing the games now at this point in time. So Leclerc now has to be wary of this, and if you try to pass him, does he take him out? Does he just block? What does he do? No, he's going to let him go back by and try to repass him again, it looks like. So here we go. The games continue. And as a reminder, Leclerc would need to finish 8th if Johnson wins the moto. So bunching, I mean, Johnson would at some point have to try to take off and actually win the race and let Leclerc do his thing. But let's see. So Johnson to the outside hits this third rut, but kind of blows it. So Leclerc hits the inside, keeps it on. On that rear tire through the sand. I mean, Leclerc is playing this so well for the situation. As soon as he gets the lead, he just goes back to running the pace he was running and doing a really solid job at that. And then otherwise, the second Johnson gets around him, he immediately watches what he's doing and checks up and doesn't get involved. Johnson just cut a tough block right there. So inside, punts him. And Johnson stays up and Leclerc goes down. I don't know how Johnson landed that because I thought he landed on his head at one point. Leclerc almost stayed up, but gets up still in second, and there is still 11 seconds back to Steve Bonnell. It's actually going to be about 6 seconds now by the looks of it. And then Eagland, Carter, Hunt, then Tyler Lang, and then Connor Holiak is where he would need to fall back to. So Johnson now just cruising around out front, not doing the table at the top of the hill. And here comes Leclerc. So punted him once. Does he punt him twice? I think this is getting a little bit dicey in terms of fair. I feel like bunching, it's kind of okay. And yep, takes him down again and stays up again. So 2 takeouts now for Johnson. That time Bonnell and Eagland will go by. Leclerc is going to now pick it up in the 4 spot ahead of Carter, Hunt, Lang, and still Holiak pretty far back of that. So what the heck is going to happen now that Johnson's leading and has people between him and Leclerc? Does he check up and bunch Bonnell and Eagland? Leclerc now 4th, and we've got 8 minutes of whatever the heck this chaos is left to go. I don't think that any of this is really all that fair as Bonnell went down. So now it is Johnson, Eagland, Leclerc. I mean, the punt was just stupid. Really, just that's not fair. That crash was more, you could say it was 2 lines coming together if you're just being really snide about it. Johnson definitely is not pushing. He has let Eagland catch all the way up to him. And now what does Eagland do? The District Designs riders control the pace of the race at the front. Johnson lets Eagland go. And Eagland is not in the mood for slowing down, it looks like. So now Johnson will fall back to Leclerc again. Wait for him to pass, or wait for him to pull up alongside at least. And they will battle for what is now second place as Eaglin pulls away out front. Leclerc pulls up alongside Johnson. Inside move, gonna get by, but Johnson is gonna send it back down this hill probably. Hugging the tough blocks. Look at Leclerc. He gets on the brakes. He's like, I'll play your games too. Okay, so they're each kind of messing with each other a little bit. Cooper Hunt and Steve Bonnell in the background. And Johnson scrubs it down. Leclerc lands it clean. I mean, Leclerc really has done such a good job at reacting to the chaos and weirdness of this situation. Johnson landing flat. Oh, almost went down. And Cooper Hunt's still right there. Bonnell is behind these guys. I'm trying to see. Lang is not in the picture anymore. So, yeah, I just landed out of the tunnel by the looks of it. Oh, Leclerc swap on corner entry. Eaglin taken off, by the way. He is not even in the picture anymore. He's going over the finish line jump now. Here's Johnson inside. Almost ran into the side of Leclerc. We have got 5.5 minutes and 2 laps left of this championship. I told you things would get weird tonight. The 250 class, we still don't even really know who the champion is. And now Johnson just got blocked by a lapped rider, and now he's swapping into the corner, and now, whoa, how did he save that? The 74 is a lap down, causing some chaos right now. Trying to go see who that is. A 74 there of Nico Marchini. Just blocking Payson Johnson. Well, yeah, that is, I think Marchini is French, but I don't know if he cares at all about Leclerc. So Johnson is trying to get around him. Look at this. Marchini cuts across, blocking the line. This is incredible. Look at Johnson, just cuts the track to pass him. This is unbelievable what we're watching right here. Well, Johnson did get around him. So now Johnson clean air ahead of him to try to close back up on Leclerc. Johnson down. Front end tapped the top of that double and immediately fell off. Marchini crashes with him, ironically, there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't love to see lappers get involved, but after Johnson, I feel like a little taste of his own medicine right there, I guess. So now it is Eaglin checking in out front 26 minutes into this moto. There's Leclerc second, Bonnell in third, Cooper Hunt fourth, and Johnson now in fifth. So what? Oh my gosh, Johnson's swapping like crazy. I mean, this is now... It's honestly just kind of a bummer that Johnson had the pace to probably win this moto outright and kind of make a last statement on the closing chapter of this championship. And instead, all of this stuff has happened. And he's going to try to close this gap down, though. Leclerc's 6.6 seconds now behind Eaglin. He can stay in second, but I'm curious if he wants to try to win this moto. And now Johnson can see just ahead of him Cooper Hunt there. Go back to that first moto at the very end, when Cooper Hunt did not let Payson Johnson pass him for third place for those extra points, made him finish in fourth. And you think about it, Colby Eaglin, while Johnson was doing all of his antics, also just passed him and left. Wanted nothing to do with whatever Johnson had on his mind today. And that, tells you what's going on teammate-wise as he fives all the way out, then triples to flat. That was the line he was doing in qualifying, so now just busting him out in the race to try to close the gaps down. But clearly, it seems like the teammates want nothing to do with what's going on here. But Hunt does actually kind of slow up a little bit right there, let Johnson go by. So now Johnson up into fourth. He's got Bonnell on the left-hand side of your screen right there, just ahead of him. Leclerc, or Johnson, I should say, laid it into that rut a little much. Almost lost the front end. As Johnson tries to creep up on third, I want to give you guys kind of a bit of a picture on what the overall position will look like as Johnson goes down and loses a spot to Hunt, and that's it. Only Cooper Hunt passed him on positions. But with Bonnell up here, I feel like the overalls are about to be really kind of mixed up. Leclerc, Bonnell, Hunt in the first moto, then Johnson fourth. Bonnell might end up second overall because Eagland in the first moto was 11th. So even if he wins, Bonnell with all these results up here at the front is putting himself in great position. Where is Eagland? Eagland is behind all these guys. What the heck happened to Colby Eagland? He was way out in front of Leclerc, 6 seconds. And suddenly, Leclerc has a 4-second lead on Bonnell, who has 3 seconds back to Hunt. And 4 seconds back to Johnson, another 4 seconds back to Eagland. Eagland lost 20 seconds. He crashed twice. No question about it. And Johnson just went down again on the face of this jump with the 93 machine right there. I think that's Rockefeller. So now this is coming down to this race being just about over as Leclerc checks in, and I think the 2-lap board is out based on time having expired 14 seconds ago where he is on the track. I think that would be 2 laps to go. Yeah, if Bonnell wins this moto, he would win the overall. He would go 2-1 and win his first ever moto and win his first ever overall with it. If Leclerc goes 1-2 and Cooper Hunt wins the moto, Leclerc would still win the overall. But Leclerc looking like he's trying to put the stamp of approval on this championship. And if it is 2 laps to go, he has got 2 laps of clean air and only lap traffic to navigate. There's only a handful of guys that are right in front of him. So it is time to see if this is about to be the white flag waving. I think it is. Yes, it is. 1 lap to go for Alexis Leclerc, and now we can start talking about the accolades. This year, Alexis Leclerc broke the record in MX Simulator, the most professional wins in the game's history. Broke a tie with Jeremy Smith, who was on 56 career wins between 250 and 450 Supercross and Motocross in this game. And Leclerc now, I believe, actually sits on 58, so he is the all-time record holder as he's going to go down. So Steve Bonnell might win this moto, and with it the overall. But we'll go back to talking about Leclerc here, as Leclerc going to let Cooper Hunt go by. So kind of toss it away at the end there, but yeah, Leclerc, 58 career wins, most all-time in this game. He was the 2014 national champion. 2018, 19, and 20 national champion, and now is sitting on the verge of being the 2023 national champion. He also won the 2018 Supercross championship in this game. Winningest rider all time will soon have the most championships all time. He had 5 titles, so too did Tyson Fresquez. Fresquez had 1 outdoor title and 4 Supercross titles. Leclerc had 1 Supercross title and 4 outdoor titles. He is about to win his 5th outdoor championship in this game. 14, 18, 19, 20, and 23 for Alexis Leclerc is about to be your 2023 champion. But how about this, man? Let's give credit where credit is due. Steve Bonnell, second in the first moto, has just quietly been in the mix all day. He plows through a guy and goes down. You have got to be kidding me. On the last lap, Cooper Hunt is going to come through and win this moto. And because Bonnell is going to finish second in this race, Cooper Hunt wins the overall. You're kidding me. All right, well, here it is, the championship clinching moment. Alexis Leclerc is a 5-time champion in MX Simulator Pro Motocross. He wins the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship, and with it, his 6th professional title in this game. 5 outdoor titles: Eaglin 4th, Carter 5th, Lang 6th, Jackson 7th, Balzer 8th, Rogers 9th, Davis 10th, Brennan 11th, Castellaneta 12th, and Johnson, as valiant of a title defense as it was, will fall just short this year. Wow. So Steve Bonnell doesn't win the overall. Cooper Hunt goes 3-1 to Bonnell's 2-2. Cooper Hunt actually ties Alexis Leclerc on the day. 1-3 versus a 3-1. And we'll watch Johnson cross the line here in just a few moments to finally seal the deal. But Johnson, a great performance this year. So many wins, overall wins to boot. But he will not be taking the #1 plate back with him. It goes back to France. Johnson crosses 13th. The deal has been sealed. Alexis Leclerc is your 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Motocross Champion. 5-time national champion. And the GOAT status just about cemented with a fast Frenchman out of Picardy. Unbelievable the way that things have gone for him. And MX Simulator history, 10 years, 5 national championships. Jesse Mullins won 3 of them, Lang won 1, Johnson won 1, but Leclerc has been there through the thick of it and won 5 of these things. Crazy stuff. Wow. And shout out to Pinned166, aka my good buddy Zach Dupuis, the 2013 champion of this series. In fact, the last person to see what life was like before Alexis Leclerc was a champion in this game, Zach Dupuis, running the #1 plate that season, and gives us a $100 donation. Shout out to Zach. Appreciate you, buddy. And Leclerc walks home as the champion. All right, we have got some things to figure out. I am going to come back into the intermission screen because, well, champion is crowned in Leclerc, but we've got to figure out what the deal is in 250s. And we're going to wait and figure this out and try to crown a champion here tonight in the 250 class as well, because they tied. They straight up tied in this championship. I don't know if they have the results pulled in just yet on RaceFactory. They do not. It is still what it was coming into the evening. But we believe that Matherly and Shirley tied on 452 points, but Shirley has more moto wins, 7-6, but Matherly has more overall wins. So let's actually go through this, and see where all these overall wins came from. So if we look at Fox Raceway here real quick, just figure it all out as I'll wait for Tyler Lang to let us know what the deal is in this situation. So back at this one, why am I at... Oh, I clicked on AMs like a moron. That's why. Let's go back to events. RaceFactory AM&A. There we go. 8 overalls versus 3 overalls is what you guys are saying. But let's go through and sort it all out so we can come up to a reasoned conclusion here. 250 motocross. Overall, Shirley went 2-1. So one moto there. Matherly went 6-9. All right. So Tyler Lang lets me know, yes, RaceFactory has always based their ruling off of AMA. So in this case, Seth Shirley would be the winner. 218B. Let's pull up the rule in question here. And we'll find 2.18 in the AMA rulebook. And let's see what we got. Class championships will be decided based on total series points accumulated. We'll zoom in on this. From each race. Riders will earn blah, 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 blah. In the event of a tie for the championship, the winner will be determined based on the number of moto wins during the season. If the tie remains, the number of place finishes of second, third, etc. will be tallied until the tie is broken. If the tie continues to remain, the final moto finish at the last event will determine the champion. It is based on moto wins. Tyler Lang confirms it is based on the AMA rulebook that they go off of. And unbelievably, Seth Shirley wins the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in the 250 class. Unbelievable. I guess we can do some interviews here and talk to these guys. I don't know if they're up for talking or if they want to talk. Let's see. Let's try to line it up here. But congratulations to Seth Shirley. Congratulations to Alexis Leclerc. And we'll get Seth Shirley on the line here in a moment. If Matherly still would like to talk, we're more than happy to speak with him. But we'll talk to Seth Shirley here. So let's call up Seth Shirley real quick and get him on the line. He does say he has a pick, so if we have a pick. All right, here he is, folks. Your 2023 RaceFactory Gaming 250 National Champion, Seth Shirley. Wow. Well, we just found out, obviously, that the tiebreaker goes to moto wins, as you had been looking up throughout the race. First of all, just take me through the emotions of this year for you. You win the Supercross title. Now you're an outdoor champion. Like, this year has got to have been crazy for you.
Honestly, I didn't really expect it at all. I came into this year with 0 wins at all to my name. The only one I had was the very last moto of 2022 at Fox Raceway. And I came in to it with no wins and came out with 6 overall wins and 2 championships. So I'm pretty stoked on it. Yeah,
unbelievable season, no question about it. Talking about today, you go 1-1. You rose to the occasion when you needed it the most. In that second moto, though, how much are you being told about what's happening with Cade, and how much are you just trying to focus on, I got to win the moto and do my job?
If I'm being honest, I was deaf in both motos. I just tried to lock in and just be the only 250 guy to go 1-1 the entire season.
Yeah, well, it definitely completed it today. So in the aftermath of that, you cross the line. At what point do you see where Cade finished and start to try to work this all out, and what was going through your mind?
I mean, I knew the math coming in. You know, you always think about it. In the back of my head, I knew like there was a chance at it, but I didn't really expect it to happen just with how Cade had been riding and winning 7 overalls. But him getting second in the first moto, I knew he had to get 8th because I originally thought it was overall wins too. Mm-hmm. But then I saw that he got 7th, and then I had someone mention to me, what if it's moto wins? So I kind of just looked into it, and turns out it was. So it caught me by shock.
And what's your reaction then when you learn that, when you actually read it's moto wins?
I mean, it was kind of a hard drop feeling just because, you know, you never really expected it. I didn't expect it at all, but it's just surreal feeling.
Talk a little bit, I guess, about the dynamic of battling with Cade for this championship as well. It seems like both of you guys were trying to be pretty fair with each other all year. No bad blood from what I could see. Was it a fun battle with him as well?
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot better of time I had in outdoors I did in Supercross, that's for sure. I had a lot of respect for Kane this season. Like I said, he was insane at the game. Had posted a lot of content for the game, so he's helping out the game a lot with that. And it was just a really fun battle all the way to the end.
Definitely. Well, like you said, you went through this in Supercross as well, and I'm sure for Cade, it's got to be quite frustrating to see how this has all turned out. But just thinking back to when you experienced it in Supercross, what are the emotions that you were feeling during that time? Just frustration? Was it panic? What were you feeling?
It was not really for me, it wasn't really panic, it was just more so frustration and always, like, thinking, like, who's around me and having to worry about who's who and what could happen, like, I always had to think 2 steps ahead to try and prevent everything.
Yeah, definitely, no question about it. Well, you, as we here officially are the 2023 Race Factory Gaming 250 national champion. I guess lastly, just kind of take me through, anybody you want to thank or anybody you want to give a little shout out for claiming this title this year.
I like to give a shout out to all the boys over at in my Discord, Talk Toji Racing guys, Underground RC guys, Phil's guys. Shout out to my buddy Marina. It's his birthday today. He was out there ripping. And shout out once again to the boy Chuck. Love Chuck.
Chuck, it is. All right. Well, Seth Shirley, congratulations on your championship here in the 250 class this year. And I guess we'll see you back next year with the number one plate, or are we moving 450s? What's the plan?
Not sure yet.
All
To
right,
be
not sure yet.
determined.
Undecided. Well, at least you get to shine the number one plate at some point, maybe do some fun photo shoots with it or whatnot. But congratulations, man. Well done this year.
Thanks for the streams all year, Colin. Big thanks to RF for hosting the series.
Absolutely. All right, Seth Shirley, your 2023 Race Factory Gaming National Champion. I want to see if Cade still wants to talk. I totally get it if he does not want to talk, but we'll see if he's still around. But yeah, so Shirley looks like he has won the championship. I don't have Leclerc's Discord, so I was unable to contact him about it. So I can't interview him because I don't have his Discord. But let's go ahead and call up. We'll call up Cade Matherly here, see if he picks up, and there he is. So Cade Matherly, well, again, we're just finding out officially as well from Tyler Lang. We thought you'd won this title. You have more overall wins on the season. You got all the way back to 7th, like we theorized you needed to. I guess just take me through your immediate reaction to this situation.
Oh, I'm bummed, not gonna lie. Dude, I got 5th wicked right off the. Wait, actually, hold on. So, let me just say this. I'm not even home right now. I had to take my laptop to race tonight, which is a literal RM85 on the course. I'm running like 80 frames, and I probably rode the worst I've ridden all season. And I was also timid, but yeah, no, coming in that moto, I thought, all right, P7, I'm good. Get a great start, killer start, going around the outside. Boom, 5th wick, straight
Oh no.
off the course, gone. I'm like, all right, this is fine. I got plenty of time. Come around again. Someone crashed. I think it was before that little like double over drop off. So I get grief there. And then Jace Williams decided to 5th wide me another 2 times after that. So I was in like 37th, like 20 seconds behind 36th or whoever was last. I was last. Came through. Everyone was telling me 7th place. You got to get 7th. I thought it was overalls all year long. So I was just like locked in. And I got grief like multiple more times, not gonna lie. It was just unlucky, people crashing in front of me. It's chaos back there.
Yeah.
Came through to I got into 6th and I was like, dude, I'm freaking out. And then I slid out, lost 6, and I was like, it's fine. All right, 7th, I'll take 7th. Was stoked, and then got all ripped away from me there.
Yeah, sheesh, man. The range of emotions in that moto, we covered you pretty much the entire time and watched your race and tried to see where you're making passes. You got hung up a little bit. We're going to pull it up on the screen here in a minute and see the 5th tapped situations and all that stuff. But just kind of take me through like what you were feeling after getting up to 25th. I think you crashed again at one point. You were 22nd. You got into 19th or 18th and then crashed again. Like, was it frustration? Were you panicking? Like, what were you feeling?
So I knew I didn't crash once first moto, and I didn't crash at all on my own that second moto. It was all from other people. So I was like, dude, I just got to lock in. It's going to be fine. I got plenty of time. And even when the last one, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. You might be talking about during halfway through. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Just continue it. Continue the work, you know? I knew I had plenty of time and had plenty of speed. And then at the very end, with like 3 to go, someone crashed right in front of me. And it was like, I thought it was a deal breaker. I already said, oh, GG. But yeah, no, I honestly was just locked in. I didn't want to overthink it because that's how you crash in this game. So I was just like, I'll just keep chugging along, see where I end up. I really wasn't in a bad place mentally throughout the moto. I was kind of chilling.
Did you think then, like, I don't know who you were talking to during the race or anything like that, but did you think 7th was possible, or were you just like, I'm screwed?
I didn't ask until about 5 to go, and yeah, someone in my call said that it's still doable. And actually, I think it was Siebold was on course, and he was like up the road from me, and he was in my call, and he was like, "Dude, 7th is like right up here." So I knew I was chilling at that point, or I thought I was. I should say I thought I was chilling at that point. Yeah, it just sucks, man. You know, with people, people just 5th wide in this game, and then they don't red flag, and I know the same thing happened with Shirley, so I'm not going to sit and pout, but like, it's just so annoying when it kind of ends up like that.
Yeah, it's a shame because, I mean, I've been in this scenario before. I ran the series in 2013, and we had a couple situations like that where guys were getting 5th tapped, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you could think about red flagging it, but then also you're screwing over everyone that did get the good starts and did put themselves in good positions as well. And it's the same thing that we talked about with Hayden Deegan getting screwed this weekend. It's like you screw some people, you obviously would save yourself a little bit. So it's a tough balance, and I don't envy RaceFactory for being in that position. But yeah, it's just a shame it kind of screwed you over. So after the race, you think you've won the title. You're sitting there. You got 7th. I guess just initially, what were you thinking? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I pulled this off.
Oh, dude, I was psyched. I was so psyched, dude. Like the last lap, I was like so stressed, like the most stressed I've ever been in a race, in a video game race. Obviously, IRL gets pretty stressful, but yeah, dude, I was like, just stay focused, and I knew I was good, honestly. And then yeah, I crossed the finish, and I was stoked. Like I got up, and I was like, yes, dude, let's go, because it's like it felt like a legit comeback for a championship. So I was like just super stoked on it, with everything that went on in the moto, but not to be.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get any of that?
Yeah, no, I got the very end of it, but I thought you were still talking and it cut out. Yeah. So last lap, Caden Speck passes you back. You were in 6th. That, as it turns out, would have actually sealed the title. You obviously never don't know that. When he passes you back, though, did you have a thought of like, oh, I need to pass him back, or I should pass him back, or did you just say like, I do whatever you want, man? Like I got to finish 7th.
No, not gonna lie, dude. When I got past, I was like, how close is the guy behind me? I was fully focused on behind me at that point, because I thought it was 7th like the whole day.
Yeah.
Going into the moto, throughout the moto, I thought it was 7th, and I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to get 6th and have another buffer there, but I kind of just slid out and he went through, and I was like, I'm not gonna risk. The track was so rough tonight. I was like, I'm not gonna risk sending it for that spot and then going back to like 9th or something like that and losing it like that.
Yeah, well, I was saying during the race too, it seemed obvious, like you had Holtzy behind you, and granted, Holt has gotten really good at the end of the season here, but he caught you twice, and I'm like, that, you know, like you're definitely riding conservative, because like you would normally go faster than that, you'd pull away, and I could tell you're riding a little bit safer. Was there any point though during the moto where you switched in your own mind from I got to be safe to like, nah, I got to put burners down?
No, I honestly was like, I think I can just play the long game here. That was my mindset the whole time. I thought if I just do everything right, don't get any legs, I should be fine. And the other thing, like, I don't want to make an excuse, but like the PC thing, it was just like frames fluctuating, and it was just not comfortable. So I was like, I don't want to push it, come into a turn, and then, you know, lag, pop over, tuck front, die. So yeah, no, my whole mindset was just consistent. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Gotcha. All right, I think we finally have the moto pulled up. I want to just run through this real quick and actually see it because we did not get to see it. We did not see it on the stream, I don't believe. So off the start, it looks like your mid-pack got kind of shuffled back a little bit. And then you said this is going into the second corner this happens? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, second turn.
And that is Joey Arico giving you the business there. Yeah, he came from pretty far back. So he saw
Yeah, he sent me flying.
Yeah, he saw, it looks like, wait a minute. Okay, so he cut the track in the first corner. He was dead last going to the first corner. For those watching on the stream, this is him right here. And he cuts the track to just basically go get you. We're watching this in slow motion. I don't know if you're looking at the stream at all or anything like that, but he cut the track inside of the corner and comes out in whatever, 15th alongside you, or no, I guess you're in 5th here or so. And yeah, just doesn't let off. Jeez, man. That sucks so bad.
Yeah, and then I think it's over the double in. I think I like crashed into it. This was just unlucky. I think I crashed there. I like hit someone and went down, and then before the finish, another guy took me out like 2 times.
So Tyler Lang in chat just,
I don't know if it's there.
Yeah, Tyler Lang in chat just gave us official confirmation that Joey Arico, Jace Williams, and Marley Spink have been banned for punting you. So we will not see them in racing action anymore. Go up to see the situation over the double.
Yeah, it's a little delayed, so I'm a little behind.
Yeah, I know. I can actually share my screen. So you went down over that little double. You ran into, I think, Alec. Yeah, Alec Horn went down. You hit him. And then we'll move forward and got into the back of 413. I forget who that is here. It is Emmett Sun. He went down right before the finish on the first lap. 32nd, and oh yeah, definitely. Oh, good gravy. Jace Williams did not even think of turning in the final turn. Just went straight 4th gear.
Yeah, I think he
open.
He was trying to grief me the first moto too. He was doing the same thing and as a lapper and wasn't getting disconnected for some reason.
Now, I also heard a couple other things in that first moto. Did you have lag? Was there server lag or anything like that? A couple people were saying that.
Yeah, it's a combination. So it was definitely server lag, but I'm also, like I said, I'm in Colorado, so my Wi-Fi is horrendous here.
Gotcha.
But the server was like hard in the beginning. I don't know. I was probably lagging throughout the race, to be honest.
Jeez, man, gets you twice over the finish line jump as well. Did you hear him coming when he was coming after the crash, coming on the finish line jump?
No, I have my competitor volume almost all the way down.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So I had no idea.
Yeah, sheesh. So that's all the stuff that we missed. We got you getting screwed over by Marley Spink while he was a lap down. But, man.
Yeah, that one wasn't big, but yeah, that was still unfortunate.
I mean, he was doing it on purpose. I will, you don't win this title, but I think you won the hearts of a lot of people in the stream and in the chat and stuff like that. And honestly, watching that whole race unfold, like, massive kudos to you for keeping your head cool during that whole situation and making it all the way back to where you did in the first place, because a lot of people would either disconnect or just say screw it and not do what you did in this situation. So massive kudos, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was a moto. I just was like, I wasn't gonna get worked up off of it, because at that point it was like, what can I do?
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna kind of stay in the past there.
Yep, no question about it. Well, I mean, congrats on a great season nonetheless. I know that you don't get the hardware at the end of it all, but you tie for the championship. You won the most overalls. I'm sure you have to hang your head high a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure. It was a great season. I felt like I did everything I needed to throughout the season, but it's all good, man. Fun. It's a video game at the end of the day, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We're just out here having fun.
Well, I asked Seth the same question. 250s again next year, or are we thinking of moving up?
Oh, yeah, we're running it back.
We're running it back. All right, so he'll come back, folks, for trying to get that championship. Trying to get the Supercross title, too, which you narrowly missed. I feel like the whole year was so close for you. But, man, congratulations on a great year from all of us here and everything. You definitely put on a great show, and we really appreciate it, man. You did great this year.
Yeah, thank you. Can I thank some people real quick?
Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, so first of all, I'd like to thank my buddies Tyson Johnson and Ezra Lewis. These guys have been making skins for me in this game since I got it at the end of 2019. So, huge shout out to you guys. I don't say it enough. They make all my stuff, all my kits. Shout out to all the boys in Discord that watch. We got Jet was watching tonight. He said he watched first moto, second moto. He was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I might fall asleep. But if you win, good job. If you don't, it is what it is. Shout out Cole, Bully, Dustin, Tristan. Everyone watching that cheers me on. I appreciate you guys, Ben, Drew, William. It's man. It was a pretty good season. Shout out Seabolt he was mechanicking for me a lot of the year. That's what we call it. He's spotting for me, looking out for me. So shout out you. And shout out all the viewers, guys. Thank you guys for coming in and watching. If you cheer me on, appreciate it. If you don't, thanks for watching anyways. It's what keeps this game alive. And shout out to RF. I thought the tracks this year were some of the best. I mean, I've only been racing for a couple years, but the tracks this year I thought were great for the most part. Shout out you guys, and then shout out you, Kellen, man. This game runs with you. I don't think these series would have nearly the competition or the viewage if it weren't for you. So it's a huge shout out to you, man. I'm telling you, most of us would not be doing this if you didn't stream it. So huge shout
come
out
on.
to you.
I mean, I appreciate it, but you guys are the real stars, man. You're the ones that make the racing. I mean, that was one of the gnarliest motos I've ever called, and it makes it a lot of fun to call it when it happens. But maybe not as fun for you. Appreciate it, and I guess go try to celebrate. You had a good year. I think you can hang your head high, and cool to see you do well this year, dude.
Oh, Kellen, we're going golfing tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. That's why we're in Colorado. It wasn't to race soon. It was to go golfing. So.
Okay, all right. Well, when you're back in California, when are we going golfing? Come on, what the heck?
I'd love to, man. I'll be back next week.
All right, hit me up.
But then I gotta go to Santa Barbara, back to school, college, so that whole thing.
Oh damn, that's so far from me. I'll never be able to get there.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, man. All right, that was Cade Matherly, and unfortunately does not get the championship this year. We just went over everything that happened there, and holy smokes. So first of all, I asked Leclerc if he wanted an interview. He says his English isn't very good, which I totally get. From France. So we won't interview him, but we'll give him all the credit in the world for everything he did this year. And thank the hell out of him because Leclerc just super chatted 500 euros. Holy freaking crap. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you, Leclerc. You didn't need to do that. You provided enough entertainment for us this year and value off that enough. So thank you so much, Alexis, for the 500 euros. That was awesome. Really appreciate you, and congrats as well for winning the championship this year. 5-time champion in the game. I think it was your 59th career win. You're really a 6-time champion in the game. You were the 2018 Moto Option Supercross champion, and now a 5-time RaceFactory Gaming National champion. GOAT status. I mean, seriously, he has more championships now than Tyson Fresquez, who by far, we did a video 7 years ago now, top 10 best MX Simulator players of all time. And I asked 30 people in the community to vote who is the best MX Simulator player of all time, and they all voted for Tyson Fresquez. I think nowadays you pull a lot of those same people, they would say Alexis Leclerc is the GOAT of this game, and deservedly so. He should be looked at as that for the longevity he's had, the competition that he's raced, the championships that he's won, the amount of race wins that he has, and also doing it for really the most part really fair and clean. Earlier we talked about how coming up Leclerc raced pretty aggressively, and he does still race aggressively, but I feel like he's definitely gotten better about racing fair against people. And even with Payson doing all the weird things that he was doing, he was racing them really fair tonight. So massive congratulations to Leclerc on winning this championship, and really just an incredible year. Thanks to so many people that tuned in to watch, and RaceFactory for putting it on. Like Cade said, we just can't thank everybody enough for all the support that you guys give RaceFactory, and also to me here at Start Your Systems to be able to bring you guys this broadcast. What a fun year. What a fun season. And just unbelievable. Final shout out real quick. Moto Agogo, $50 donation in chat as well. Thanks so much for that, Moto. Appreciate you. It's been a while. I got to hang out with you more, man. I'm at the races all the time, so I don't get to hang out with all my gaming buddies, but trying to get back into it, and we'll definitely do it for sure. But seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for the support this year. Everybody, Don't know what's after this. I don't know if we're doing SMX. I don't think so, but we'll see. And yeah, we'll I guess for now at least see you in 2024. I'm coming back. I would love to keep streaming this as long as I possibly can, because this game gave me a lot and I owe a lot to it. So as much as you guys support me and thank me and throw donations and Cade says all those nice things about me, I owe way more to this game than any of you owe to me. So I'll be back in 2024 for sure. We'll keep streaming, we'll keep having fun, and we'll keep calling some good races. But this has been the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. And congratulations to Alexis Leclerc, Seth Shirley for winning the titles, Cade Matherly for being so close, Payson Johnson as well. All you guys for competing and giving us great racing all year. Many congratulations to all you guys. And yeah, that's it. We are done. We are dusted. And we're going to send you guys off. And enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Enjoy the rest of your year. And enjoy the racing this weekend. For all of us here at Start Your Systems and everybody at RaceFactory Gaming, we thank you so much for tuning in to the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship, and we'll see you in 2024. Bye-bye for now.